For the first time, someone was isekai'd by Truck-kun, but not as a victim. This young man was the driver. He swerved to avoid hitting a little girl, crashed into a wall, and found himself transported to another world. The world he entered was from a novel he had read before. Instead of continuing a life of hard labor like in his previous one, he transmigrated into the body of a wealthy young master from the Campbell family. The only problem? He was the cliché yellow-haired villain in a chosen one type of novel, the kind of character who exists merely as a walking boost for the protagonist. Possessing his past life's memories, he immediately decided to change his fate. However, a prophecy book informs him that if he tries to alter the plot, he'll end up dismembered into 100 pieces. Damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. Though will our young man navigate this predicament? Let's go back to the moment Mun first transmigrated. He sat dazedly on his bed, wondering, if I remember correctly, I died in a car accident, right? He observed the Western, palace-style decor and the face in the mirror his own, but from when he was 17 or 18. After a moment of panic, Mun's vanity took over as he admired his reflection. Looking back, I was quite handsome when I was young. They did a good job recreating my appearance. This must be some kind of game-like world. Wait, isekai by Truck. Isn't this just the fantasy of a late, overweight middle-aged man like me? He found a small knife and told himself, let's just confirm this. Fresh blood spurted out. As he winced, he mumbled, that was just a light cut. This knife is too sharp. It hurts. It's real. I've really been transmigrated. Just then, memories flooded his mind. Mun Campbell, for the crime of disrespecting the royal family, is stripped of his noble status and demoted to a commoner, a crime that cannot be pardoned. Sentenced to exile, he is forever barred from entering the Empire's territory. Violators will be executed without mercy. Recalling this, Mun clutched his head and lamented. You've got to be kidding me. At first, I thought the name was just a coincidence, but I actually transmigrated into this guy's body. That brain-dead, spoiled brat, a yellow-haired villain who was less significant than an elite-level monster. Phoenixia, the strongest in history, was the most popular novel he was reading before his death, one of the few he followed with daily updates. The plot was about the illegitimate daughter of a fallen noble who, on her path to greatness, constantly leveled up, defeated countless demons, and ultimately reversed her destiny to become the hero who saved the world. Mun Campbell is the brainless early-game villain who uses his family's influence to bully the female lead, constantly sending assassins after her, and providing experience points for her party. In the end, his schemes fail, implicating the entire duchy. He himself is exiled for life to be a beggar on the frontier. If I remember correctly, his character is written out of the story in about 20 chapters. And that idiot who couldn't just enjoy his life as a noble young master and instead chose to court death is now me. I thought being reborn meant I could be the protagonist and enjoy life for once, but I ended up in the body of this foolish stepping stone. What do I do? I'm screwed. Damn it. Just then, a servant knocked on the door. Come in, Mun yelled in frustration. A maid, Anne, walked in and said calmly, Young Master Mun, is there anything you need? Anne reported, Young Master, your attire for tomorrow's banquet has arrived. The madam asked me to bring it for you to try on. Hearing this, Mun scratched his head and smiled. All right, I know. Just leave it there. But Anne's brow furrowed when she saw the blood on Mun's face. She timidly approached and asked, Young Master, are you injured? Mun held up his newly injured finger. Accidentally cut myself just now. It's nothing. Do you have something to stop the bleeding, or a band-aid? Anne repeated, confused, a band-aid. She knelt gracefully. I don't know what you are referring to, Young Master, but I can stop the bleeding. Oh, Anne, you know healing magic? Mun asked, surprised. To his shock, she took his finger and licked the wound clean. The sight made him jump back. With his finger now covered in her saliva, Anne stopped and said, the bleeding has stopped. Every drop of the young master's blood is precious. Please do not harm yourself again. Still in shock, Mun stammered, oh okay, I'll remember. Not wanting to disturb him further, Anne turned to leave, saying, if the young master has no other requests, I will take my leave. Yeah thanks. You've worked hard, Mun called after her. Once the door closed, Mun still couldn't believe what had just happened and shouted in delight. Oh my god, that's just cheating. A gentle, dark-haired maid. She was so cute. Meanwhile, Anne walked away with a dark expression, wondering to herself, the young master. Did he just thank me? Back in the room, Mun calmed down and began to analyze the situation. But why would a duke's son, with high status, good looks, and a wealthy family, not to mention being cared for by a maid like that, go out of his way to provoke the protagonist? If I remember correctly, the true trigger for his exile was drugging the esteemed third princess of the empire at her coming-of-age ceremony. If I know where the problem is, it's easy. I just need to do my best not to provoke Phoenixia and avoid courting death at the ceremony. Then I'll have a chance to defy fate and continue my life as a rich, carefree young master. I need to plan this carefully. Speaking of which, when is the coming of age ceremony? The clothes Jizbra were for the ceremony. Tomorrow. It's tomorrow. Realizing the day of the catastrophic event was upon him, Mun screamed in panic. This is really bad. He curled up on the bed, whimpering, System. Are you there? Golden old master. Goddess. Cheat codes. Anyone. Can't I get a single hack? Didn't I pull 5 5-star characters in a 10 pull in my past life? Even if I used up my lifespan for that luck, you don't have to treat me like this. The ceremony is tomorrow. It's all over. I wonder if apologizing directly to the protagonist tomorrow would lessen her grudge. She probably wouldn't make an outrageous demand, right? Like making me lick her feet in front of everyone. You can do this, Mun. A true man knows when to be firm and when to yield. What's a little humiliation like licking feet compared to becoming a crippled beggar? I can bear this shame alone. Of course it would be even better if she's wearing black stockings tomorrow. It's settled then. The moment I see her tomorrow, I'll kneel and kowtow 3 times. As he was getting excited about his life-altering decision, something hit him squarely on the head. What was that? Mun cried out, rubbing his bleeding head. That hurt. What did you do to my head? He saw a black-covered book had appeared on the bed. Mun reached for it with a trembling hand. This could it be? My cheat has arrived. It seems the heavens haven't abandoned me after all. Even though I was destined to be a cannon fodder, with a cheat, things will be different. From now on, I will change my predetermined fate, defy the heavens, change my destiny. My fate is in my hands. Full of excitement, Mun opened the book, only to be left speechless. He couldn't believe his eyes. He changed his posture for a better look, but there wasn't a single word in the book, which made him scream in fury. You've got to be kidding me. What is this? A wordless heavenly scripture. After his tantrum, Mun sat down, rubbing his temples. Perhaps it needs a special activation method. Based on the Western setting of this world, what could it be? As he thought, a drop of blood from his head fell onto the book. It immediately billowed with black smoke. Mun looked inside and screamed, what the hell is going on? His blood was continuously being sucked into the book, and the dark aura grew stronger, quickly enveloping him as his vision faded. When Mun regained consciousness, he found himself bound hand and foot, his body covered in wounds from torture. He dazedly opened his eyes and mumbled, this is. Before he could finish, Annan's face loomed over him. You've finally woken up. I've been waiting for you for so long, she said menacingly. Mun tried to move but couldn't break free. He gritted his teeth and cried out, it hurts. Annan smiled cruelly. Of course it hurts. It's to make you remember this forever. You don't know how much pain I am in right now. You shouldn't be like this. You were cruel, tyrannical, and selfish. You brought others suffering, not kindness. You should have made everyone hate you. That way, you would belong to me, and only me. But you've changed. You've had a change of heart, and that's not allowed. But don't worry. No matter how long it takes, I will slowly cleanse you with my love. We will be together forever. Not even death can tear us apart. Seeing the blade lunging toward him again, Mun screamed in terror. No, no, he shut up in bed, screaming, don't. Finding himself back in his room, Mun panted heavily, remembering. Was that a dream? The pain on my skin still feels real. That dream was too vivid. Could it be a prophetic dream? Before I passed out, I remember this book flipping its pages frantically and sucking a lot of my blood. If this book can bring prophetic dreams, does that mean the fate of being chopped into 1,000 pieces was because I did something wrong? Unwilling to give up, Mun opened the book again. His expression changed drastically. This is. Inside, a single line was now written in blood-red text, do not change fate. Mun was stunned. Don't change fate. Before he could understand, the book dissolved into black smoke and flew into his head. He clutched his forehead in pain. Is this a warning that if I change the original plot, I'll end up like that? But why? Isn't that ending horrible? So, all my ideas were just wishful thinking. To survive, I must actively walk the path to my own destruction. Wait a minute, he thought. Thinking about it, the original ending wasn't so bad. At least I got to live. That useless noble brat had no survival skills, so of course he became a beggar after being exiled. But I'm different. I am a superhuman corporate drone who has endured all kinds of hardships in modern society. Besides, the book never specified what ultimately happened to Mun Campbell in the end. After I'm exiled, I can use my modern knowledge to build my own empire. Wouldn't that be great? This so-called noble status is nothing to be attached to. It's just a privileged class built on exploiting the labor of the people. As a soldier for the socialist proletariat, I will use my own 2 hands and my knowledge to make waves in this other world. That evening, Mun sat at the dining table, chewing with an expression of disbelief. Damn, I've never eaten beef this good in my past life, he thought. And the wine. This wicked, powerful class sure knows how to live. This is delicious. Seeing Mun's expression, his mother, Lady Nosy Campbell, smiled and asked, what is it? Little Mun seems very happy today. His father, Duke Leopold Lon Campbell of the Empire, also chuckled. Haha, he must be looking forward to tomorrow's coming-of-age ceremony. After all, it's one of the most important ceremonies in his life. Mun, not paying much mind, simply smiled and replied, you're right, father, mother. I'm really looking forward to it. Hearing this, his mother beamed. My little Mun has grown up in the blink of an eye. I can hardly bear it. Tomorrow, my son will surely be the center of everyone's attention. I wonder how many young noble ladies he'll charm. His father laughed. Haha, that's not possible. Our Mun already has a fiancé. It wouldn't be easy to explain if Princess Cilicia saw him and got jealous. Hearing her husband contradict her, the lady pouted. I don't like that Princess Cilicia. She's always so cold and not the least bit cute. She's simply not worthy of our little Mun. Her husband explained helplessly, you can't say that. If even Princess Cilicia isn't worthy, then who is? Mun felt a chill run down his spine as he listened to them. My dear parents, how much confidence do you have in your son? He thought. Who is Princess Cilicia? She's the third princess of the Empire, blessed by the gods with the mark of purity, and a strong contender for the title of the most beautiful woman in the Empire. In the original novel, her aloof demeanor, and her cold on the outside, warm on the inside personality garnered her a huge following. Wherever she went, she captured everyone's attention. Your son is just a piece of stinking trash, don't you know that best? You're the only ones in this world who treat him like a treasure. In the original story, both of his parents were good people. It was just a pity they had a son like him. According to the original plot, they would also be implicated in the events of the coming-of-age ceremony. The Campbell family would be forced out of the Empire's high society and disappear from the story completely. Although the book said I can't change fate, and my destiny is set. A destiny of exile with my limbs cut off like a cripple. Even with a modern mindset, turning the tables from that point would be too difficult. I can't accept that. I have to think of something. It said I can't change my own fate, but it didn't say I can't change the fate of others. Looking at the big picture, attacking the princess wasn't the primary reason for the exile. The real issue was the charge of treason that implicated his father. This caused Duke Campbell, a man with military power, to be caught in a power struggle, purged by the Empire's ruling class and the aristocracy. That was the main reason. Therefore, on the premise that the outcome for me doesn't change, I must pull the Campbell family out of this mess to serve as my lifeline after I'm exiled. Furthermore, all those behind this scheme must be held accountable. And when it comes to holding people accountable, there's no place more fitting than a Western fantasy world like this. With only one day until the ceremony, it's too late to make any elaborate arrangements. I can only improvise when the time comes. The most urgent task now is to deal with the predetermined consequences of offending the royal family. The mark of purity, the future Queen Cilicia of the Empire. To take down a once-in-a-millennium magical genius like her, an ordinary sleeping drug wouldn't work. Moreover, there's no memory of such a drug in this brat's mind, which means it didn't exist in the mansion before. It must have come from that place. I'll find an excuse to sneak out later and investigate if that place is really as the novel described, a den of iniquity, filled with all sorts of evil forces and wanted criminals. If I don't, even if I try to divert the trouble, relying on words alone will get me nowhere. Lost in thought while walking, Mun bumped into a maid. The maid held her head and cried, oh. Tea spilled all over Mun's clothes. Mun bowed his head and apologized, I am sorry. I was lost in thought and wasn't watching where I was going. Are you all right? Hearing his voice, the maid panicked and stammered, you are. Young Master Mun. I am sorry, young master, I'll help you. She tried to wipe the stain on his clothes, but only made it spread. The maid clutched her head in despair. I'm so sorry, young master, I really didn't mean to. Please don't hit me, and don't strip my clothes off and throw me into the street. I won't do it again, I promise. Please, young master, spare me. Hearing her pleas, Mun sighed helplessly. It was just a spilled cup of tea. To scare a young girl this much, just how terrible was the original owner's reputation. He bent down to help the maid up, smiling. It's all right, it's a small matter. I won't punish you. Get up. Are you okay? You feel very warm. As he spoke, Mun pulled her into an embrace, using what he considered the modern method of checking temperature. Just as I thought. Why are you so hot? You have a fever, don't you know? Your forehead is hot enough to cook an egg on it. Why are you still working instead of resting? The maid trembled in shock. Even so, you can't work while you're sick. Just then, Anne approached, calling out, young master. Mun turned casually. Ah, Anne. You're just in time. Make arrangements for her. He gently pushed the maid away and asked, by the way, What's your name? The maid trembled and replied, Young master, my name is Noel. All right, Mun said. Arrange for Noel to rest. Anna replied coldly, but young master, tomorrow night is your coming-of-age ceremony. Every maid in the manor has specific duties. If Noel rests, the workload for the other maids will increase significantly. Then hire more people from outside, Mun instructed. Surely the ducal manor can afford to hire a few more people. He didn't have time to argue. He turned to leave, giving his order, that's final. Tell the head maid that any maids who are unwell should be given rest. Fill the empty positions by hiring from outside. I don't want any sick people carelessly causing trouble for the guests at my ceremony tomorrow. Annan bowed her head. Understood. I will relay this order to the head maid. Both of them watched Mun's retreating back. Noel was still in disbelief. Sister Anne. I remember the young master used to say he didn't want dirty outsiders soiling the ducal manor, so he forbade the head maid from recruiting any help from outside. But today, the young master. Anne cut her off coldly. Don't overthink it. Carry out the young master's orders. Go and rest. As soon as Noel left, Anne glanced in the direction Mun had gone, thinking to herself, he really has changed a little compared to before. To avoid any uncontrollable situations, it seems I'll have to implement the plan earlier than expected. Meanwhile, Mun returned to his room and began rummaging through his belongings. He stuck his entire upper body into a chest, muttering, not this one. Not this one either. Impossible. In the brat's memory, there was only one way to deal with the super-powerful magic genius princess, a specialized bewitching potion. This item was not only difficult to concoct but also very expensive and illegal. The only place to buy it. Thinking of this, Mun pulled out an item and exclaimed, found it, this guy really was a scumbag. In the original story, this item was very hard to obtain, a special VIP card for the black market. That night, Mun snuck out of the manor in a carriage. Arriving at the Sea Trading Guild, he ordered the servant, wait for me here. I'm going to buy some gold and silver jewelry for my father and mother to wear tomorrow. The servant obeyed without question. Yes, young master. Mun walked away, glancing back to see if anyone was watching. Seeing that no one was paying attention, he slipped into an alley, put on a black cloak, and headed in a different direction, murmuring to himself, according to my memory, the path is deep within the sewers of Jingbelin City, on the outskirts of the royal capital. This must be the place. As Mun approached, a man in black shouted, Halt! Who are you? Mun calmly stated the password, Sewer Rat. The man asked, What is your purpose here? Mun presented the VIP card. Seeking corpses. This is my card. The man asked no more questions, and cheerfully opened a hidden door. Honored guest, please come in. Behind the door was the Leopold Black Market. It was crowded, bustling, and strangely vibrant. Magic potions and chimeric beasts were for sale. Taking in the scene, Mun remarked, as expected of a fantasy world. If I remember correctly, they even trade demi-human slaves here. I think one of the protagonist's companions was bought from this place. But all of that is secondary. I need to take care of business first. A door with a bell on it opened, and a shopkeeper wearing a cat mask called out a welcome. Well, a customer has finally arrived today. Come in. What can I get for you, young master? My shop may be small, but we have everything. Mun replied curtly, I want that potion. That potion. The shopkeeper repeated. The one that's colorless and odorless, specifically for dealing with mages, Mun explained. The kind that causes instant unconsciousness upon consumption. The shopkeeper's eyes lit up with understanding. Ooh, that kind. I get it. You rich folk all like to play that way, huh? Ha. As it happens, I know a few good slave traders. Need an introduction. It's just a small referral fee, and you can use my name for a discount. Not wanting to waste time, Mun turned to leave. You don't have it. If not, I'm leaving. I do. Of course I do, the shopkeeper cried out in a panic. Please wait, young master, but that treasure is very rare. I'll have to look for it. Please wait just a moment, young master. Mun watched the shopkeepers retreating back, his mind already racing. Mun analyzed the situation thoughtfully. She wore a mask that completely concealed her face, and her voice was magically altered, making it impossible to determine her gender. However, her mannerisms and tone. Just then, the shopkeeper bent over, exclaiming, I made 2 vials a few days ago. I'm sure I left them in this cabinet. Now, where did I put them? Mun's eyes were drawn to the shopkeeper's black stockinged thighs, and he reevaluated. And she has an amazing body. She's a woman, and likely a beautiful one at that. To be able to do business in a chaotic place like the black market, she must have methods even more formidable than her figure. If I can build a good relationship with her, she might be able to help me after I'm exiled by the Empire. After a bit more searching, the shopkeeper said, Wait just a moment, young master. It's fine. As long as you have it, I'm in no hurry, Mun replied casually. Just then, someone else entered the shop. Mun turned to see another figure cloaked in black, also wearing black stockings. "Welcome, valued customer," the shopkeeper chirped. Before she could finish, the new customer said, "I want to buy a specialized bewitching potion. It needs to be potent, and leave no magical traces after its effects wear off. Do you have it?" The shopkeeper was taken aback. "Ah, well, I do have it. Please wait a moment." She thought to herself, normally, nobody ever asks for this potion. What a strange day. Mun glanced at the newcomer. He assessed her posture, and caught a faint scent of perfume. A woman also has a need for this? If buying this kind of potion most likely means she intends to harm someone. It's a pity, but there's no way for me to prevent it. Whoever the poor soul she's targeting is, he'll have to pray for his own fortune. At that moment, the shopkeeper placed 2 vials on the counter. Found them, here they are. Looking at the potion, Mun thought with a frown, wait a second, that color is a bit too conspicuous. The shopkeeper picked one up and said with a laugh, "No need to worry, customer. Although the color is indeed a bit eye-catching, it becomes completely undetectable when mixed into drinks like wine. Besides, its advantages far outweigh this small flaw. Just one small drop is enough to knock an elephant unconscious for 2 to 3 hours." Hearing this, Mun asked, startled, "1 drop can knock out an elephant? Seriously?" "Of course, you get what you pay for," the shopkeeper said. "If you don't believe me, you can try it yourself. But be warned, if you fall asleep in my shop, I charge 5,000 ime per hour for a babysitting fee." That won't be necessary," Mun said with a wry smile. Meanwhile, the woman in black had already picked up one of the vials and was inspecting it. The shopkeeper continued, "The price for the specialized sleeping draught, a southerner's dream, is 130,000 ime. This small shop does not accept any form of haggling. May I ask if you two will be paying by card or cash?" Just as Mun was about to say card, the woman beside him spoke. "I don't have enough ime, nor do I intend to pay with it. I can sell you a piece of intelligence in exchange for the potion." "Oh," the shopkeeper said, intrigued. "I must remind you, customer, 130,000 is not a small sum." The woman in black produced an envelope. "This information is definitely worth 130,000. In fact, to the right people, its value far exceeds that number." The shopkeeper took the envelope and opened it. She nodded as she read. "All right, let's see what kind of intelligence this is." After a moment, her eyes widened. This is interesting. Are you certain this information is genuine?" "Whether it's real or not, I believe the shopkeeper's abilities are more than capable of finding out," the woman replied confidently. The shopkeeper stopped arguing and smiled. "Ah, you have a lot of faith in me, customer. But you're right, this intelligence is worth 130,000. Take it. The potion is yours." Without another word, the woman in black took the vial and left. "Thank you. Safe travels." Seeing Mun standing there, the shopkeeper asked, "And what about you, young master?" "I'll pay by card," Mun replied. After the transaction was complete, the shopkeeper handed him another, smaller vial. "Here is your card, young master. And this little bottle is a small gift for you." "A gift?" Mun asked. "What is this bottle for?" "Its use." "Like that," the shopkeeper said knowingly. "You understand. When combined with the red vial, the experience will be even more exquisite." Mun understood immediately. He quickly put both vials away. "Well then, thank you, shopkeeper. By the way, that woman just now mentioned some intelligence." The shopkeeper's eyes lit up. "Oh, is the young master interested in that information? Seeing as we're now acquainted, I'll sell it to you for a good price." "And even," Mun ventured cautiously. 900,000, the shopkeeper stated. Hearing the price, Mun turned around without a second thought. "Never mind, thank you." As he walked out and pulled his hood down, he grumbled, "Damn it. They made the exchange right in front of me, and she still dared to jack up the price 7-fold. That's just vicious. It's no use. The shopkeepers in this black market are greedy. Even if I spend the money, there's no guarantee they'll help me. They might even kick me when I'm down. I need to find a more upright partner to cooperate with. Safe travels, young master, come again soon," the shopkeeper called out cheerfully. Once she was alone, she removed her mask and cloak. "Aha," she cheered excitedly. "I thought tomorrow was just the coming-of-age ceremony for that useless young master of the Campbell house, but to think the third princess will be there too. And the crucial point is that the ducal manor is hiring outside help because they're short-staffed. Haha, now, who should I sell this information to? It's so hard to decide. I remember the second prince has always despised his talented little sister. And then there's Duke Dwayman, who has always been at odds with Duke Campbell. This is so interesting. Maybe I should sell it to both of them. Not selling one fish to two buyers. I'm so away." Time passed, and the evening of the next day arrived at the Campbell ducal manor. Mun stood with his father, greeting each guest as they arrived. A marquis approached with his daughter. "Your Grace, This is my third daughter, here to pay her respects. The girl, her face beaded with sweat, stammered, "Greetings, Your Grace, Duke Campbell." Greetings. She couldn't continue. Her whole body trembled as she looked at Mun, then she turned and ran, shouting, "Mother is calling for me. Please excuse my rudeness." The Marquise understood and laughed nervously. "Please forgive her, young Mun. Young ladies can be a bit shy. I apologize on her behalf." Mun smiled back. "It's no problem at all, eh? Don't mind. It is we who have been poor hosts. Please enjoy the party." On the outside, he was cheerful, but inside, Mun's heart was ashes. Just as I thought. It wasn't just Marquise Hugh's daughter. The original owner's reputation is just terrible. Just then, his father patted his head. "I am very pleased with your conduct today, my son." "Father," Mun said, surprised. His father spoke gently. "I was a little worried before, but it seems my worries were unfounded. You are the star of today's ceremony. After tonight, you will no longer be a boy, but a true man of House Campbell. Keep up the good work." Mun beamed. "I will do my best." At that moment, an attendant at the door announced, "Your attention, please. Let us welcome the third heir to the Leopold Empire, the one blessed by the Frost Goddess with the mark of purity, Her Highness, the third Princess, Cilicia." Seeing her arrive, Mun's father excused himself. "I will go greet the other two dukes. I'll leave things here to you. Remember, do not neglect Her Highness." "Yes, father," Mun replied obediently. He walked forward to greet her. "Your Highness." Cilicia approached. "It has been a while, young Master Mun. You look absolutely breathtaking today, Your Highness," Mun said, taking the opportunity to compliment her. Cilicia's expression remained impassive. "Is that so? Thank you for the compliment. However, it's rather rare to hear such words from the lips of young Master Mun." Mun gave a strained laugh. "Haha, Your Highness speaks as if I am constantly unable to control myself and say rude things. Are you not?" she asked bluntly. The question made Mun even more uncomfortable. "Haha. Your Highness must be tired from your journey from the royal capital. Perhaps you would like to rest for a moment. The banquet will not officially begin for a little while." "Yes, thank you for your trouble," Cilicia said without a second glance, walking away. Watching her go, Mun clutched his head with a bitter smile. "Phew, she's finally gone. She's beautiful, all right, but terrifyingly so. As expected of the original female Li. That aura is truly intimidating." As Cilicia walked away, she wondered to herself, Mun feels different tonight compared to before. Is it because he's more mature now that he's come of age? Suddenly, whispers broke out among the crowd. "That illegitimate child. She actually came. Isn't that the woman who recently dueled with her own fine? I heard Count Beaugetter just named her as his heir. Ah, not only is she an illegitimate child, but she's also a woman. What right does she have to inherit the Count's title? I don't know what Count Beaugetter is thinking. The Count is here, don't let him hear you." Hearing them, Mun looked towards the door and thought, she's here. The true protagonist of the original story. The supreme chosen one of this world, Ariel Beaugetter. Two young women entered. One, with a carefree air, raised her hand. "Yo, young Master Mun, we meet again. How have you been?" Mun forced a smile. "Ah, it's Ariel." Before he could finish, a portly servant of his jumped forward and shouted, "You lowly illegitimate child, how dare you speak to our young Master Mun?" Mun's eyes widened. He lunged forward and clamped a hand over the man's mouth. "You idiot, shut up." After dealing with the servant, Mun turned back awkwardly. "I have been very well, of course. Thank you for your concern, Lady Ariel Beaugetter." Hearing this formal address, Ariel's eyes went wide. She looked down, her mind racing. What's going on? Why didn't he call me a despicable, illegitimate child like he always does? How could his pea-sized brain possibly remember my full name? Has he seen the light? Or is this some kind of scheme? Before she could figure it out, Mun pointed to the girl beside her. "And this must be Lady Leah, correct?" The young girl gasped in fright. "You know my name, young Master Mun." Mun smiled warmly. "Of course. How could I not know the name of such an important guest this evening, Lady Leah Angel?" Hearing this, Ariel slapped his hand away and rushed to stand between them. "What do you want?" she yelled. "Lady Ariel?" Mun asked, confused. Ariel glared at him threateningly. "Mun Campbell, you listen to me. I'm only here for my father's sake. I don't care what schemes you're plotting, but you can aim them all at me. If you dare to have any indecent thoughts about Leah, I will never forgive you." With that, she turned her back and called out, "Leah, let's go." Yes, Mun had anticipated the scene and let out a helpless sigh. It seems her impression of the original owner runs deep. It won't be easy to change it in a short time. Whatever. After tonight, our fates will be like two parallel lines that never intersect. From now on, you'll be the world's savior, and I'll be a self-made man. We both have our own bright futures. Lady Phoenixia. And so, under the guidance of his parents, Mun Campbell completed his coming-of-age ceremony speech before all the nobles of the empire. As of today, he was considered the official heir of House Campbell. It was just a pity that if everything followed the original plot, his status as heir would last only for this one night. After finishing his speech, Mun breathed a sigh of relief. Phew, it's finally over. Next up is the main event. Princess Cilicia. He glanced over and saw Cilicia standing by a window. Clearing his throat, he walked over to her. To leave the noble princess without a companion. It seems I have been a discourteous host. Might I be so fortunate as to invite you for a dance? Cilicia looked surprised. You're asking me? Of course, my beautiful princess, Mun replied confidently. Cilicia was about to refuse, but then she reconsidered. Forget it. Tonight is your coming-of-age ceremony. I suppose I have no reason to decline. A moment later, shocked whispers spread through the crowd. What? What is it? In the center of the floor, Mun was dancing with Cilicia. Your dance steps aren't bad, Cilicia complimented. Thank you for the praise, but I'm merely at a beginner's level, Mun replied cheerfully. Cilicia hesitated. You really have changed a little, Mun Campbell. In what way? Mun asked. Is my conduct not noble-like? No, she said. It's the way you invite someone to dance. The way I invite someone. Mun asked, confused. I remember the last time at the academy ball, you didn't invite a viscount's daughter so politely, Cilicia recounted, mimicking his past self. Woman, rejoice. Cheer. This young master has graciously granted you the right to a dance with me. Mun was speechless. That wasn't. What's wrong? Was my impression inaccurate? Cilicia cut in. I was wrong, Mun said with an apologetic smile. Your Highness, could you please forget about that incident? After this dance, may I invite you to my room for a moment? Mun Campbell, Cilicia said coolly, although we are engaged, we haven't. Mun interrupted before she could finish. I understand, Your Highness. I have no intention of overstepping. I wish to discuss the details of our engagement with you. I know you do not like me. In fact, our engagement is merely a political marriage decided by His Majesty the King to maintain his relationship with my father. It was the King's decision. If Your Highness were to annul the engagement, it would surely affect the royal family's prestige, as well as the father-daughter relationship between you and His Majesty. Am I wrong? Therefore, I believe that, at least in our mutual desire to dissolve this engagement, we are in the same boat. If we join forces, we might find a way to break it off. What do you say, Your Highness? Cilicia immediately pushed him away. I understand. This is indeed a matter that should only be discussed between the two of us. Hook, line, and sinker, Mun thought jubilantly. I'm sorry, Your Highness. To ensure the plot proceeds smoothly, I have no choice. However, Cilicia was even more eager than he was. Where is your room? She grabbed his arm. There's no need to wait for the dance to end. Let's go now. Mun didn't know whether to laugh or cry at this development. Not far away, two unfamiliar servants watched them and whispered. She's gone with that idiot young master. Let's begin. Yes. We must be quick. This is the Lion King's territory, after all. A short while later, in Mun's room, he entered with a bottle of wine. It's just wine. A little sip should be. I am sorry, I don't drink alcohol, Cilicia cut him off. Wine included. My constitution doesn't allow it. Not even a single drop. Hearing this, Mun gave up. Oh, I see. He stepped back, screaming internally. Come on, man, the novel never said how the princess was knocked out. The potion is bright red, and she doesn't drink alcohol. What am I supposed to do now? Mun forced a smile. If Your Highness doesn't drink wine, would you care for something else? Before she could answer, he said, I only have black tea. Due to various unavoidable circumstances, there are no other beverages here tonight besides wine and black tea. Cilicia didn't think much of it. She stroked her chin and agreed. Only black tea. Then I'll have black tea. Excellent, I'll go get it right away, Mun said, his cheerful steps belying his intentions. What's he so happy about? It's just tea, Cilicia wondered. Mun, playing the part of an assassin for the first time, frantically looked around. He took out both vials. Even though one drop can knock out an elephant, for a powerful mage like Cilicia, adding a few extra drops shouldn't be too much, right? As for this other vial, there's nothing fun about it. To be safe, I won't add anything. Are you not done yet? Cilicia called out, poking her head out of the room. The voice made Mun jump. Done, I'm done. Please wait a moment, Your Highness, he called back, hastily trying to pour the potion into the teacups. In his haste, he accidentally opened the lid of the other vial next to it, and its contents poured out as well. Hearing the liquid splash into the cup, Mun broke out in a cold sweat. After a moment, he wiped his brow. Phew, that was close. Luckily, this potion has no magical fluctuations, or I would have been caught red-handed. But when he looked, he saw that most of the potion had been spilled. No, he cried in his heart. My plan to divide this into 10,000 portions and sell it as a sleeping aid to earn my first pot of gold after exile. It's all gone. Young Master Mun, Cilicia shouted, tired of waiting. Coming, I've kept you waiting, Mun said, rushing in with the tea. Cilicia took a cup and looked at it suspiciously. Young Master Mun, your black tea is red. And it seems to be glowing. At this, Mun blurted out the first excuse he could think of. This is a rare tea from the east that hasn't been released yet. It's called something like Dumbo. Yes, that's the name. Is that so? Cilicia said, giving him a sidelong glance. Then please, young Master Mun, you drink first. Does your highness suspect me of tampering with the drink? Mun asked, feigning offense. Am I that kind of person? You're being too sensitive, young Master Mun, Cilicia said calmly. You are the host. It is basic etiquette for the host to partake first. Very well, Mun relented. If your highness does not trust me, then I have no choice. He brought the cup to his lips. Wait, Cilicia shouted. She snatched the cup from his hand. Your tea looks tastier than mine. Let's trade. You don't mind, do you? Without waiting for an answer, she took a small sip. Your highness, Mun exclaimed. Cilicia's eyes rolled back. She managed to utter a single word, you. Before slumping over. The tea kept crashing to the floor. Mun stood there in stunned disbelief. He stroked his chin and mumbled, good thing I was quick-witted enough to drug both cups, or I would have been done in by my own trick. As expected of a potion that can knock out an elephant with a single drop. That black market merchant's quality is top-notch. But then again, I don't think the original novel mentioned the princess couldn't drink alcohol. Did the original Mun drug her tea too? Did I just stumble into success? No, now's not the time for that. In the original plot, Phoenixia will arrive soon after she's knocked out. I need to prepare quickly. He pulled down her stockings a bit, unbuttoned her dress slightly. No, that's not right. Exposing her stomach might make her catch a cold. I'll just mess up her hair a bit. That should be good. And now for me. Why are these ridiculous clothes so hard to take off? After a struggle, Mun had the scene set. He looked at his handiwork with pride. Finally done. A great success. Now, I just need to wait for Phoenixia. A while later, Mun checked his pocket watch. What's going on? Half an hour has passed. According to the original plot, shouldn't Ariel have burst in by now to play the hero and subdue me? Where is she? Mun stroked his chin, thinking back. Wait, what was the trigger for this part of the story in the novel? If I remember correctly, Ariel's dress gets stained by a gravely ill maid in the ducal manor. Then on her way to the washroom to clean it, she happens to notice something amiss and bursts in, interrupting my beastly act with the princess. That original owner. Realization dawned on Mun. Wait a minute. A gravely ill maid. Could it be Noel? The more he understood where he went wrong, the more he panicked. He looked back at the unconscious princess and muttered, no way. Doesn't this mean I've changed the predetermined course of the story? This is a huge problem. Just then, Cilicia's eyes fluttered open. Unaware that the beast had awakened, Mun continued to mutter, calm down, calm down. Even though there were some unexpected deviations, the most important thing. The princess is still unconscious. There must be a way to salvage this. Dan, why does it suddenly feel so cold? It's supposed to be summer. A hand shot out and grabbed him, crushing the chair he was sitting on. Cilicia, breathing heavily, pinned him to the floor. Your Highness, Mun screamed in terror. Listen to my explanation, it's not what you think, so ha. Cilicia gasped. Her body was slick with sweat as she moaned, my body, it's, seeing her condition, Mun panicked. No, this isn't right, Your Highness, hold on. I'll call a doctor. But before he could move, his wrists were frozen to the floor by shackles of ice. Cilicia pressed herself against him, inch by inch. Your body. It's so cool. It feels good, she whispered. Your Highness, wake up, Your Highness, Mun pleaded. Desperately, his mind screaming. Lady Ariel, protagonist, save me. If this continues, the act is going to become real. As he was lamenting his fate, Cilicia's lips crashed down on his, jolting him. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the ducal manor, Ariel's dress had been stained, just as in the original plot. That idiot Leah, she grumbled as she walked. How could she be so clumsy? Spilling cake all over my dress. As she walked, her brows furrowed with suspicion. She looked ahead and called out, who's there? From behind a corner, Anne stepped out. My apologies, esteemed guest. The area ahead is a restricted part of the ducal manor. Please turn back. Restricted area. Ariel repeated. I'm sorry, it is a ducal secret. Please forgive me for not being able to elaborate, Anne confirmed. Ariel didn't press further. Selfish. Suddenly, Anna noticed the stain on Ariel's dress. It seems your attire has been soiled. Yes, it has, Ariel replied irritably. I was on my way to the washroom to clean it with some water. Allow me to handle such a small matter, Anne offered. She used a cleaning spell, and the stain vanished. Ariel was surprised. Oh, as expected of the great Duke Campbell. Even the maids in your manor know how to use magic. I only know a trick or two. It's nothing worth mentioning, Anne replied humbly. It is done, my lady. Also, a quick reminder, a limited quantity of special parfaits will be served at the party shortly. If you are fond of them, you certainly wouldn't want to miss out. At the mention of cake, Ariel's eyes lit up. Parfaits, she broke into a run, calling back with a laugh. Thanks for the help, Miss Maid. I've got to go claim my dessert. Anne waved as she left. You're most welcome. Please take your time. Once Ariel was truly gone, Annen's expression turned guarded, and she slipped away. As Ariel ran, she thought, that maid was a bit strange. She smelled of blood. And there was someone else hiding nearby that caught my attention. But what does that have to do with me? Whatever she's plotting, it's happening in the ducal manor. It surely has nothing to do with me. As for Princess Cilicia, Her Highness is a grown woman and the top magic genius of her generation. There's no way she'd be taken advantage of by that idiot young master. Everything will be fine. Ariel kicked those thoughts away, focusing on her new goal. Right now, nothing is more important than my parfaits. I am coming for you, my beloved parfaits. Not far away, the two mysterious servants watched from the shadows. That woman is gone. Was she your target? One asked. No. She was originally Number 9's mission objective. Number 9 was my old partner, so I have intelligence on her. Number 9. I recall that mission was a failure. Yes. At that girl's hands. Number 9 was 2 whole realms above her, and was still killed in a counter-attack. So that's her. By the way, how much longer do you need? We don't have much time here. It's almost done. The barrier that Lion King Leopold arranged covers the entire manor, but silently opening a breach without anyone noticing isn't easy. Hurry up. If Mun Campbell or Princess Cilicia suddenly comes out, our mission will be considered a failure. I know. But I think we still have time. When I'm heading outside now, it seemed like the two of them were busy. Back in Mun's room, he was panting from exhaustion. It's finally over. I risked my old life to evade her, but I finally protected my 30-year-long great mage's status. If I had gone all the way with the princess, I'm afraid what would be waiting for me wouldn't be exile, but death. But for now, this doesn't seem so bad. Just as he thought this, the cold edge of a blade pressed against his neck. Speak your last words, Mun Campbell. Cilicia's voice was ice. This is your final chance before you die. Mun flinched away from the blade. So if I don't say anything, if you have no last words then. Cilicia growled. Wait. I do. Just give me a moment to think. Mun yelled in a panic. His face was pale. I'm done for. If it can't calm her down, I won't even make it to the executioner's block. I'll die right here. I wonder if I'll get a second chance at reincarnation. It's come to this. I can only bet it all on my modern knowledge. And so, Mun gathered all his courage and shouted, once, there was a sincere love right in front of me, but I didn't know how to cherish it. It wasn't until I lost it that I was filled with regret. If the heavens could give me another chance. Before he could finish his rambling speech, Cilicia's blade slashed past his head, making him jump. So that's it, Cilicia hissed coldly. That's your disgusting reason. Disgusting? Mun asked with a forced smile. In a way, you could say I was being very sincere with my feelings. Besides, we didn't actually go all the way, so today's incident. Vile filthy tricks, you call that sincere? She snarled, her face darkening. What kind of joke is this, Mun Campbell? If you truly liked me, you should have stood before me openly. Use your character, your strength, your sincerity. Move my heart like a real man. If you had done that, even if I didn't like you, I would have respected our engagement and become your wife. But you chose to use drugs, the most shameless and despicable method. Seeing her tears, Mun couldn't bear it and stood up. I'm sorry, Cilicia. To be honest, I had no other choice. I just wanted a certain outcome. I never intended to offend you. Shut up and kneel, Cilicia screamed, pointing her sword at him. Just then, there was a knock at the door. They both tensed and looked towards it. Tell whoever it is to go away, Cilicia ordered, grabbing Mun by the collar. I can't, Mun said miserably. This room is soundproof. Nothing but the knock can be heard from the outside, and no sound can escape from within. Cilicia scoffed and released him. I'll spare your life for now. Get dressed and open the door. Mun miserably obeyed. As he put his clothes back on, he thought, this is a real disaster. I'm left with only 3 paths, being killed by Cilicia herself, being hanged by the enraged king, or being dismembered in a dungeon by some unknown person like in my dream. No matter which one, it's a dead end. So, dear protagonist, the rice is almost cooked. What's the point of you showing up now? But when Mun opened the door, he heard a different voice. Young Master Mun. Thuff. A strange maid was holding a tray of pastries. The madam noticed that you and her highness have been talking for a long time and thought you must be hungry. She specially asked me to bring some cakes. Oh, thank you for your trouble, Mun replied distractedly. He turned back inside. You can just leave them on the table. Yes, sire, the maid said with a smile. Suddenly, Mun looked at her. Hey, wait a minute. Why haven't I seen you before? I was just hired by the ducal manor yesterday, the maid replied, as if she had prepared the answer. It's normal for the young master not to recognize me. Oh, you're here to help with the banquet, right? Mun said, remembering his own order. But I recall Annan saying that because there weren't enough spare maid uniforms, they hired regular servants. Her cover. About to be blown, the maid's face darkened. Is that so? She dropped her disguise and lunged forward with her full strength. Assassin, Mun screamed. But the maid ignored him, making him startle. Wait, she's not after me. Then it must be Cilicia. Cilicia, there's an assassin, he yelled. Just as he finished, the maid was upon Cilicia. The force of their clash sent a shockwave through the room, forcing Mun to shut his eyes. When he managed to look again, the two were locked in a stalemate. Did my foolish brother send you? Cilicia asked coldly. My apologies. Information about my client is top secret, the maid said with a strained smile. And you won't need to know anyway. Your Highness, today you will die here. The third princess of the Empire, assassinated in the manner of Duke Campbell. That is your fate. An explosion sent them both flying back. The maid clutched her dagger contemptuously. Such powerful magic attacks. Even the instructors at the Santa Maria Academy are. Only. Before she could finish, her eyes widened as Cilicia began her chant. Ice, take form. Frost, become a spear. Grant me supreme power. Cilicia's sword transformed into a long spear, and she charged. The maid, caught off guard, stumbled backward. Cilicia, seeing that she had dodged, glared at the gash on the maid's cheek and gritted her teeth. Damn it, when bulls fight, the musida dies, Mun lamented from his hiding spot. I can't stay here any longer, or I won't even know how I died. But when he tried the door, he was shocked. It's locked. The fight had spread to the door. Mun scrambled away and hid behind a cabinet, his brow furrowed. The door has been tampered with. It must have been that maid. But this shouldn't be happening. There were no assassins in the original story. The ducal manor. How could this be? Wait, could it be? Mun suddenly remembered his own words from the day before, that's final. Tell the head maid that any maids who are unwell should be given rest. Fill the empty positions by hiring from outside. I don't want any sick people carelessly causing trouble for the guests at my ceremony tomorrow. Was it because of my order? He wondered in a panic. How could that be? The decision to hire replacements was only made last night. Is someone monitoring the ducal manor 24/7? An attack landed near him, and he ducked, covering his head. For now, I can only pray that Cilicia can defeat the assassin. This small body of mine can't possibly interfere in a battle of this level. But the assassin's target is clearly only Cilicia. Now that I've unintentionally changed the original story, I have no idea what the future holds. But for now, would Cilicia winning be a good outcome? If she happens to die here, no one will ever know what happened between us. Just as he was deliberating, a voice rang out. As expected of the super genius chosen by the gods, Princess Cilicia. A short-range explosive spell, a light arrow spell, and a gravity spell. That made my body heavy, Cilicia mused. 2 spells with no magical fluctuation. Perhaps that's the handiwork of the assassin in the next room. Hearing this, the maid smirked. You saw through our magic at a glance. You really are just like the rumors say. No, the rumors are not entirely accurate, Cilicia corrected. It's not that I haven't killed magic geniuses before. In the realm of geniuses, you are a monster. Tell me who is behind this, and I will spare your life, Cilicia declared, raising her spear. The maid laughed as if she'd heard a joke. Is that so? As an assassin, I shouldn't be wasting so much time talking to you. But sometimes, assassins need to stall for time, don't they? As she spoke, a magic circle descended, enveloping the room. The room is completely sealed. Hurry up, I can't hold this for much longer, the other assassin shouted. Receiving the signal, the maid drew a weapon from her side. Understood. It was a vial of blood, filled with demonic energy. With the blood of 100 children, I offer this sacrifice to the god of the corrupt world, the lord of the crimson sun, the great king of torment. Hearing the names, Cilicia recognized the evil god ritual. The maid ignored Cilicia's charge and continued to chant, her face slowly being covered by dark energy. I beseech you, grant me the power to suppress the blizzard. The ritual completed, and Cilicia was thrown back. She gritted her teeth and cursed, evil priests, you sewer rats dare to show your faces before me. The maid returned to her original form and holding a dagger, laughed. Rats. To you, your highness, we are indeed rats. But, my dear princess, you are about to die at the hands of a rat. She cackled maniacally and lunged, stabbing at Cilicia repeatedly. But after a moment, the dagger was snatched away. Seeing Cilicia, covered in blood, take the dagger, the maid said with admiration, "Interesting. I didn't expect your swordsmanship to be as good as your magic. You managed to avoid all the vital spots." She lunged forward with her fists. "But without your ice magic, you're nothing but a lamb waiting to be slaughtered." Cilicia couldn't block anymore and was sent flying by a kick. Bleeding heavily, she struggled to get up. The maid took her time, producing another dagger. "Ah, that felt good. And just in time. Now then, your highness, I'll be taking your head." She stabbed forward, and fresh blood sprayed. The maid's expression went blank. Cilicia stared in horror at the body that had shielded her, her eyes wide with disbelief. "You." Mun had jumped in front of her, taking the blow. "Mun Campbell," the maid shrieked in fury. What did you?" Cilicia stammered. "That's right." "Why?" Mun wondered himself. Just a moment ago, the other maid had deliberately opened the door and called out, "Our target is only Cilicia. You can leave, young Master Mun." But Mun had hesitated. A clear path to survival was right in front of him. All he had to do was stand by and watch Cilicia die. But he just couldn't do it. At that thought, Mun unconsciously chuckled. He gripped the dagger embedded in his chest and shouted, "Cilicia, what are you waiting for?" Cilicia snapped out of her shock. The maid also realized what was happening and screamed, "Mun Campbell, you useless young master, how dare you?" Before she could finish, she felt a cold sensation on her neck. Cilicia had moved like a ghost, and a single slash had separated the maid's head from her body. The assassin's body slumped to the ground, lifeless. "It's over," Cilicia said coldly. She turned to Mun, who was lying on the floor, gasping for breath. She knelt beside him. "It's a pity the one next door got away." "So, you weren't the one who hired these assassins, Mun Campbell?" "Of course not," Mun said through the pain. "Then why did you save me? If it died, no one would have known about your crime. It would have been the optimal solution for you." "You're right," Mun whispered. "But that doesn't matter anymore. You said before that a man should pursue you openly and honorably. Malakamina, my princess." Hearing him, Cilicia sighed. "You're bleeding out. You have time to say 3 more sentences. Leave your last words, and I will relay them to the Duke and his wife." Mun slowly raised his hand. "No. My death is the best outcome for them. There's no need to leave any words that would make them remember a good-for-nothing like me. My only last words are, I'm sorry, Cilicia. And I really do like you." With that, his arm fell limp, and he stopped breathing. Cilicia's face darkened. "You think a single life and an apology can atone for what you've done to me, Mun Campbell?" She gathered her magic and froze his wound, shouting in frustration, "I don't accept your apology. You must live to atone for the sins you have committed." In a dark void, Mun floated, feeling no fatigue, dizziness, or pain. "This is nice. My body still feels warm. Is this what it's like to be dead? It's still death in the end, but this time, it was my choice. And I got to act cool in front of a super beautiful girl like Cilicia before I died. I guess it's not a total loss. Actually, it's still a loss. It wasn't easy getting a second chance at life. But I couldn't just stand by and watch her die after taking advantage of her. I'm not a heartless beast like the original owner, after all." As he was grumbling, a dark vortex appeared before him. The prophecy book materialized, and a progress bar appeared. Loading progress. Pride 50 envy 99 gluttony, 90 greed, 0 lust, 0 sloth, 0 wrath, 0 what is this? The prophecy book flipped open to a single line, "Please continue to struggle for the sake of this world, Mun Campbell." Dark energy erupted and pulled him in. "Damn it, you didn't show up when I was dying, and now you want to drag me back to that horrible basement." Mun screamed. "You think I'm a Hello Kitty just because I don't roar?" But no matter how much he yelled, he was sucked into the book. At the same time, in the sewers beneath the Campbell ducal manor, the maid who had maintained the magic circle was running for her life. "Damn it, if I had known, I should have killed him first, even if he wasn't the target. Mun Campbell, I believe I just heard someone say they wanted to do something to my precious son." A voice echoed behind her. A figure blocked her path, exuding a terrifying aura. The maid trembled. "Scra. Why is he here?" "The Lionheart King, Lon Campbell." He slowly placed his hand on his sword. "Oh, I'm surprised an assassin would know the name of an insignificant person like me. But, Miss Assassin, I don't recall House Campbell ever inviting you. Why have you come uninvited? Tell me, especially the part about what you did to my precious son. I will be sure to listen attentively." Back in Mun's room, he lay motionless on the bed. He had just opened his eyes when Annan rushed to his side. "Young master, Ann," he called out weakly. "It's me. Are you feeling unwell anywhere, young master? If so, I will call the doctor at once." Mun struggled to sit up. No need for a doctor. I need to use the washroom. Young master, you still can't. Before she could finish, a sharp pain in his chest made him lose all his strength. Anon lunged forward and caught him. Sorry, Anon, Mun said, scratching his head. I don't have any strength. There's no need to apologize, young master, Anon said calmly. It is my duty to care for you. If you need to use the washroom, you don't need to go far. There is a bedpan in the room. I will help you. Mun's face went pale. A bedpan. Yes, Anon said, retrieving it. The madam was worried about leaving your care to others, so for the past few days, I have been responsible for feeding you your medicine, bathing you, and helping you relieve yourself. Mun pushed her away in shock. Wait. You mean for the past few days, you've been helping me? Yes, Anon confirmed. Although you were unconscious, it wasn't difficult to tell when you were uncomfortable. When you frowned and tensed up, I knew. Rest assured, there were no embarrassing incidents like wetting the bed. She moved to spread his legs. Do you need me to help you take off your pants? Wait, Anon, Mun yelled, flustered. I couldn't take care of myself before because I had no choice. But I'm awake now, so I definitely won't let you help me with that anymore. Just help me to the washroom over there. If we go slowly, it should be fine. Anon obediently complied. Very well, if that is the young master's wish. Before Mun knew what was happening, Anon scooped him up like a small cat. This will be faster, she said with a smile. Please bear with it for a moment, young master. Anon, wait, this is. Mun was too stunned to speak as Anon carried him out of the room. The other maids stared at the strange sight. It's Sister Anon. Noel whispered before shouting with joy. The young master, he's awake. Quick, inform the madam. Mun didn't know where to hide his face. This is so embarrassing. A short while later inside the men's washroom, Mun stammered, Anon. Yes, young master. She asked innocently. Could you step outside? Mun requested. I must protect you 24/7. That is the madam's order, she replied. Come on, how am I supposed to go with you watching me like that? Mun cried. Do you need me to help you take off your pants? Anon asked earnestly. Mun had no choice but to physically push her out the door and slam it shut, leaving a bewildered Anon outside. Not long after, back in Mun's room, Anon helped him sit on the bed. How long was I asleep? Mun asked, drenched in sweat. You were asleep for exactly 3 days, young master, Anon replied. Mun was a bit surprised. 3 days. Then my wound. It was Her Highness, Cilicia, Anon explained. She summoned the top physician from the Royal Magicians Guild to personally treat you. Your wound was healed last night, but due to excessive blood loss, your brain was deprived of oxygen, which caused your body to become weak and sleep for so long. Mun breathed a sigh of relief. So it was her. He asked hesitantly. Did the princess say anything? No, Anon replied bluntly. That's good, Mun thought, relieved. It seems Cilicia isn't going to press charges. Oh wait, Anon added. Her Highness must have said something to His Majesty the King. What did Cilicia say? Mun asked urgently. According to the subsequent investigation, Anon recited, the assassin's target this time was Her Highness, Cilicia, and the mastermind was Nesto, who has been active in the Bellin black market for many years. His Majesty the King was furious about this and sent soldiers to clean out the black market the next day, arresting and killing many people. On the other hand, although His Grace the Duke captured 2 of the disguised assassins that night, and they confessed everything during interrogation, the ducal manor was still implicated since the incident occurred here. His Grace was prepared to face His Majesty's wrath, but to everyone's surprise, he returned the next afternoon. Not only did he not receive any punishment, but when His Majesty later sent people to conduct a strict investigation of the nobility, our Campbell family was the only one exempt. I believe it must be because Her Highness said something to the king that helped us escape. Mun listened and sighed. You scared me to death. Next time, please finish what you're saying. Your young master's heart isn't strong. Just as he said this, Anon leaned in close, her face inches from his. You were so worried, young master. Did something happen between you and the princess when you were alone that you can't tell others? Well no, The memory flashed in Mun's mind and he quickly denied it. Of course not. This young master may be a scoundrel, but I'm not an idiot. I'd be beheaded for doing anything to the princess, wouldn't I? Anon fell silent, contemplating his words. What is it? Mun asked nervously. She closed her eyes and sighed. Actually. She changed the subject, holding out a spoonful of medicine. Here, young master, drink your medicine. It's cooled down now. Mun, suspecting nothing, took a sip. The moment the taste hit him, his eyes shot open, and he started coughing and sputtering. Cough. What is this medicine? It's so bitter. My tongue is numb. Technically, this isn't medicine, but a tonic to help replenish your blood, Anon said gently. I know you dislike bitterness, so I've already added sugar. Be a good boy now, young master. This isn't about being a good boy, Mun shouted. His yell was so loud that the maids outside heard him and began to whisper. The young master is being difficult again. He's angry. So scary. The young master hates anything bitter. He used to fly into a rage and whip people whenever he tasted something bitter. Didn't Noel say his temper had improved recently? It looks like Sister Anne is about to be beaten. I don't know. Just in case we should go tell the madam. Hearing them, Mun shouted, Don't go, don't tell my mother, it's just medicine, isn't it? He snatched the bowl and drank it all in one gulp. The maids saw this, quickly closed the door, and went back to work. Once the door was shut, Mun, with a mouthful of medicine, checked to see if anyone was outside. Confirming they were gone, he spat it all out. I'm sorry, young master, Anne said, patting his back. The first time you drink this, it can cause nausea. You're supposed to drink it in small sips. I forgot to explain. This is the 4th dose of your treatment. According to the royal physician, after 2 more doses, your body should be fully recovered. What? I have to drink this stuff 2 more times. Mun exclaimed. Yes, young master, Anne confirmed. Mun's face fell. It's so bitter. Bitter than my own life. I don't want to try anymore. Just destroy this world already. Anne poured him some tea. There's still some time before dinner. If you're hungry, there's black tea and some pastries here. If that's not enough, you can call for me. I'll have Noel stand by outside. Okay, Mun said, happily accepting the tea. You've worked hard these past few days. I'll tell my mother to give you a raise. To avoid worrying the Duke and Madam, I will go and inform them that you are awake, Anne said with a curtsy. Please excuse me. Go on, Mun said cheerfully. This cake isn't bad. No wonder it's so expensive. Oh, that's right, young master, Anne said suddenly. There's one more thing. A letter from the royal palace arrived this morning, addressed specifically to you. I've placed it in the cabinet over there. Please remember to check it when you have time. The royal palace. Could it be? Mun thought, but he replied casually, I know. I'll look at it later. He took a spoonful of cake and looked up at the ceiling, thinking. Hey, wait a minute, Annan, he called out. Anne paused. Is there anything else, young master? I just thought of something, Mun said. This cake is so delicious, even if I were unconscious, I could probably eat 10 of them on instinct alone. But that medicine is disgustingly bitter. How did you manage to make me drink it? Annan stood still, not answering. I don't mean anything by it, Mun explained hastily. I'm just curious. We don't have things like feeding tubes here, so how did you do it? Annan covered her mouth and turned her head slightly. It's just as you're thinking, young master. I knew you couldn't handle bitterness, so I placed a lot of sugar in my mouth. With that, she closed the door and left. Mun was dumbfounded. So she added sugar. Weight in her mouth. The cogs in his brain started turning, and his face turned bright red. Whose mouth? Mine. Or hers? The reality of the situation that Anne had fed him the medicine mouth to mouth dawned on him, and a shriek echoed through the room. He trembled with delight. You're a super idiot, Mun. You have a super strong dad, a super beautiful mom, and a cool girl like that who loves you, yet you refuse to just be a good young master and keep provoking that a real girl. Mouth to mouth. Big sister, come to think of it, this is my first time. As he was muttering, he realized something. Wait, my first kiss, it was then. That's right, but first kiss. He jumped out of bed, opened the cabinet, and took out the letter. Inside was a single sentence. I'll grudgingly consider you half a man, Mun Campbell. Mun sighed in relief. It seems she's not planning to press charges for now. They've escaped the worst case scenario. That evening at dinner, his mother rushed over and hugged him, sobbing. Oh, Mun, my little Mun, you're finally awake. You scared me to death. Do you know, when your father arrived, you were covered in blood. If anything had happened to you, I wouldn't have been able to live. Mother, it's okay now. It's all over, Mun said, trying to comfort her. Look, I'm perfectly fine now, aren't I? Don't cry, it's not good for your health. What do you mean, fine? She continued to cry. Look at yourself in the mirror, my perfect little Mun. With this long, ugly scar. My heart itches. Mun looked down at the scar on his chest. It's just a small wound. Don't worry about it. Other than being a little weak, I'm basically fine. His father also chimed in. Mun is right. It's just a small wound. What's a little scar? Scars are a man's medals of honor. This time, we were lucky that little Mun sacrificed his life to save Her Highness. Otherwise, no matter how many military achievements I had, I wouldn't have been able to stop His Majesty's wrath. That's right, father, Mun said, turning to him seriously. About this incident. His father understood. The assassination attempt involved a total of 3 assassins. Besides the one Her Highness killed on the spot and the one who broke the barrier, there was another one providing support, hiding in the sewers. I captured the 2 survivors and took them to the palace that night. They were tight-lipped, but we found many clues on their bodies. They weren't professional assassins or death warriors, but followers of the evil god, the King of Torment, who have lived in the Bellin black market for years. They belonged to a bounty hunter organization. The King of Torment, bounty hunter, Mon muttered to himself. As expected, the limitations of the novel are too great. The original story never mentioned a force like this. It must have been a small, insignificant group or something. His father continued, according to the Royal Guard's intelligence, this gang has been around for many years, and has committed countless crimes. As long as the price is right, they'll take on any mission, even killing their own parents. They're a bunch of sick, deranged criminals. Don't worry, your father has already taken people to completely eradicate that disgusting organization in the past 2 days. Completely eradicate? Mun asked, sweating. That's right, his mother confirmed. Have you forgotten? Your father was the first duke to be promoted for outstanding achievements after the founding of the nation. Those damn assassins dared to harm our precious Mun. We will never forgive them. Don't listen to your mothers. Nonsense, his father said helplessly. I was just following orders to clean up the rat's nest around the capital. Mun forced a smile and asked, so that's how it is. As expected of you, father. So, but he found out who hired them. His father's expression turned grim. Unfortunately, not yet. All the captured bounty hunters had a curse placed on them. The moment they mention any information about their client, they immediately self-immolate and die. This is also why His Majesty is still furious. The Bellin black market has been thoroughly cleaned out, but no concrete evidence has been found. This proves that the person behind this has deep control over the underground forces in the capital. That's why His Majesty ordered an investigation of all the nobility, the ones who dared to move against Her Highness. The prime suspects are the princes and several of the dukes and marquises. Hearing this, Mun suddenly remembered. Wait a minute. The Bellin black market has been wiped out by my father. I remember something similar happening in the original story. The reason was that someone had put a bounty on the head of His Majesty's favorite consort in the black market. Not only did someone accept the mission, but they also succeeded in assassinating her. The king was furious and sent the royal knights to completely purge the Bellin underworld. That brutal purge lasted for 3 months. So many people died that the royal sewers were stained red, and it became known as the River of Blood incident. That was supposed to happen 2 years from now. Now that the black market is gone, it means the consort won't die. If the consort doesn't die, the River of Blood incident won't happen. The River of Blood incident was a crucial event for Phoenixia in the middle part of the story. Ariel, who was participating in a black market auction, was dragged into the war between the royal knights and the underworld. She faced danger many times but managed to turn the tide with her protagonist's halo, and her strength grew by leaps and bounds. The River of Blood incident was a major turning point that transitioned Ariel from the academy to her role as the future savior of the world. But now, just by giving Nola 2-day leave, I've triggered a chain reaction that has completely messed everything up. The original plot is well and truly derailed. That night, Mun sat in his room, analyzing the situation. Although my father, mother, and everyone else told me to rest, now is not the time. The plot has completely deviated from the original story. In other words, everything that happens from now on is unknown to me. The original plot is no longer a valid reference. Whether I can survive or not depends entirely on me. Therefore, I need to think carefully and set some small goals. 1. Survive. 2. Escape the fate of being imprisoned and tortured. 3. Get stronger. 4. The black book is unreliable. He paused, then revised the last point. No. Although that insane killer's voice was different from anyone I've ever met, it still couldn't save me from being captured, imprisoned, and tortured. I have to be prepared for what the black book predicts. As of now, I have no idea what conditions will lead to the outcome or who hates me so intensely. If it's not Ariel or Cilicia, then who could it be? Mun ruffled his hair in frustration. I still don't have enough information. Relying on these fragmented prophetic dreams is so annoying. After a while, he flopped onto the bed and sighed. Forget it. There's no point in thinking about it anymore. I should focus on what I can do now. Getting stronger is the most important goal. As a duke's son, I have access to countless ways to become stronger, but those methods are too ordinary. They're not enough to bridge the gap with the main characters. The original owner wasted so much time. He studied at the Santa Maria Magic Academy for a whole year, but the only spell he knows is a light. The more he thought about it, the angrier he got. This is ridiculous. What was that guy doing in class every day? Fortunately, his physical constitution isn't bad. He is a duke's son, after all. He's at the late stage of a novice. The 3 systems warrior, mage, and clerical have 5 levels, and I don't think I can reach them at my current state. Even if I risk my life to train to level 5, it won't be enough. Ariel and Cilicia are God's favor. In this world, the gods favored are completely different from the 3 normal systems. They're like walking cheat codes who can break through to the heavens. Cilicia was blessed by the frost goddess shortly after she was born, and has had the ability to control ice and snow since she was a child. That kind of power and innate physical ability is not something a cleric can compare to, who has to rely on prayers, offerings, and transactions to borrow divine power. And then there's a real super phoenixia power. I remember in the late stages of the original story, that girl had dozens of blessings from various gods. Every god was more or less involved with her. She could summon gods for help at the drop of a hat, like a female version of the Monkey King. If she couldn't win a fight, she'd call a god. It was insane. Not to mention Ariel's future. Even now, her physical strength is on par with mine. But that kid not only knows magic, she also has rare items and blessings from the gods. She can easily fight opponents 2 levels above her, let alone a chicken like me. I can't win. There's no way I can win. Mun closed the book and sighed. Based on the current situation, the answer is obvious. I need to quickly reach a level where I can protect myself when facing Ariel. That is the ultimate goal of this stage. So what if the protagonist's cheat is a little stronger? I have a cheat of my own. And through the incident with the assassin, this kid has awakened a new ability, the Black Book. He snapped his fingers, and a dark vortex appeared. I can summon it whenever I want. Before he could get too smug, a black lump fell out and hit him where it counts. Mun rolled around, clutching his crutch. He pulled the black book out of the lump and yelled, "That hurts. If you want to kill me, just say so. Why do you have to go after my little brother? I still need to use it in the future." After his tantrum, Mun calmed down and looked at the black book. The pages flipped one by one and stopped on a new entry. Mun Campbell, after having dinner with the Duke and his wife, dismissed the guards and snuck into the Bellin black market to purchase accessories. Mun Campbell purchased a high-level magic potion from a black market merchant. Haggling attempt, failed. The next day, Mun Campbell rehearsed for the coming-of-age ceremony under the guidance of the head maid. After more than 20 rehearsals, he had basically mastered it. That night, Mun Campbell and his father, Lon Campbell, greeted the noble guests at the ducal manor for the coming-of-age ceremony. Mun Campbell delivered his proclamation before the nobles of the empire. The coming-of-age ceremony was established. He went to the washroom 3 times before his speech due to anxiety. Halfway through the banquet, Mun Campbell invited Princess Cilicia to dance. All the guests paid attention. "These are records of what happened to me a few days ago," Mun thought, surprised. This part is when I was being pinned down by Cilicia." "No way, brother, you're a little too detailed. Why is this written like an adult novel? And an adult novel where I'm the main character, at that." As he read, a line caught his eye. Wait, why is this text red? After this incident, an unsuspecting Mun Campbell opened the door. He and Cilicia were attacked by an assassin who had infiltrated the ducal manor. As soon as he finished reading, his blood was sucked away. "Crap, here we go again," Mun yelled helplessly. "Can't you give me a warning? Next time." Despite his struggles, the blood-red energy quickly enveloped him. When he regained consciousness, he was in a strange space. Where is this? The light is dim, but I can see my surroundings clearly. It's not the dungeon from before. Could this be the space inside the black book? As he was looking around curiously, a shadow appeared behind him. Mun sensed the killing intent, and spun around. "Who is it?" An eerie voice echoed, "Shadow step." The maid Cilicia had killed suddenly appeared in front of him, and slashed at his neck. Blood gushed out like a fountain. The maid's expression was blank. When he woke up again, he was back in his bed, screaming. He touched his unharmed neck, even more confused. "What happened? I died in the first second. Why did that assassin appear in the black book?" A light flashed beside him. On the black book, new information was displayed. Mun Campbell warrior level, 1 mage level, 1 cleric level, 0 skill proficiency, dagger assassination arts. 1.5 shadow step, 1 Mun grin. "Aha, so that's how it is. This is your real ability, isn't it, black book?" I'm sorry for being so loud just now, my precious. Let me try a few more times. If my prediction is correct, my cheat is very powerful. In the middle of the night at the Campbell ducal manor, an exhausted Mun was panting on his bed. "I'm out." He checked his watch. I only lasted 3 seconds this time. He sat up and picked up the black book. "Wait, let's check the proficiency." The information was updated. Mun Campbell warrior level, 1 mage level, 1 cleric level, 0 skill proficiency, dagger assassination arts, 1.5 shadow step. 1 Mun smirked with satisfaction. Just as I thought. The skills used by the enemy will be recorded by the black book. By fighting the enemy's shadow in this space, I can gain proficiency. Doesn't this mean I can use all the skills I've ever seen for free, without even paying tuition? That sharp footwork, and those flexible combat techniques. They'll be mine soon enough. With a cheat this powerful, why should I be afraid of the protagonist? I just wished for strength, and I got it. This young master's fate is truly unchangeable. Although I still don't know what the increase in proficiency is related to, I have to train now. No more talking. Mun slammed the black book onto his face and was immediately killed by the maid inside. He tried again. Still killed. He died so many times that he started cursing. Damn it. Just then, Anne knocked on the door. Young master. When there was no answer, she gently pushed the door open and walked in. It's time for your medicine. But all she saw was Mun, wrapped tightly in a blanket, shivering. Annen's lips curved into a small smile. So big now, but still sleeps like a child. How cute, she whispered. He must have just fallen asleep. I won't disturb him. She used a spell to keep the medicine warm, then quietly left, closing the door behind her. The moment the door shut, Mun burst out from under the blankets, panting. He clutched his crotch and cursed, damn it, she fights dirty, she's so much stronger than me, and she still fights dirty, that's just awful. Again, I refuse to believe I can't even touch her once. He wrapped himself in the blanket again and resumed his training. The next morning, the sun was high in the sky. Mun stared at the ceiling like an addict and mumbled, the 185th time. It finally lasted 30 seconds. A sudden sharp pain shot through his hip, and he staggered, knocking over the medicine cup. He fell off the bed in agony, pounding the floor. Damn it. After a moment, he managed to calm down and lay back, panting. Finally, it's back to normal. Although he wouldn't truly die in the illusion, the pain of death was real. He had wanted to see if he could find a loophole, a way to avoid death by constantly entering the illusion, but now it seemed impossible. The agony of nearly 200 deaths had almost killed him. But now. Let's see the fruits of last night's labor. He picked up the black book and opened it. His eyes lit up. Success, the contents had changed. 1 Campbell warrior level, 1 mage level, 1 cleric level, 0 skill proficiency, dagger assassination arts, 35 shadow step level 1, 11 Mun clutched the book to his chest, tears in his eyes. Even though it's only level 1 or 2, and I'm still far from that assassin's level, now that I've gotten my foot in the door, the rest should be much easier. I can't wait. I have to test the effects. He immediately used shadow step and shot across the room, amazed. Did it work? I did it. His excitement was short-lived as a wave of pain hit him. Ow, my leg. It hurts. Damn it. Why didn't anyone tell me using this move would hurt my leg? How could that assassin have a completely straight face when she was fighting Cilicia with this much pain? This isn't scientific. The pain faded and realization dawned on him. Wait, I get it. It's because my level is too low. This is not something a level 1 warrior should be able to learn. I remember from my academy memories that this martial art requires the use of Battle Kai, which is a power that only level 2 warriors can master. In short, I'm too weak right now. I have to revise my future plans. First, I need a teacher. Santa Maria Academy is about to start, but most of the teachers I remember from the academy are mages. I don't recall any powerful warriors. This is going to be difficult. In this magic-dominated world, there aren't many people who practice martial arts. Even with money, it'll be hard to find a teacher. As he was despairing, he remembered something. Wait a minute. The strongest and most famous warrior in the original story. The man who could fight 1,000 men. A man of unparalleled strength, known as the pinnacle of martial arts. Isn't he? In my house. For nearly 100 years, there had been only one warrior renowned throughout the world. At 15, he became a royal guard to the king, who was then a prince. At 20, he led the royal guard to crush rebellions at home and abroad, stabilizing the chaotic situation when the new king ascended the throne. At 25, he was appointed Grand Marshal of the Empire, defending the borders and fighting in numerous battles that shook the continent. Under his watch, not only were the empire's territories clearly defined, but neighboring countries and clans were forced to retreat and dared not invade for nearly 20 years. He returned victorious at 32 and was granted the title Lionheart King by His Majesty. He was the only duke in the empire's history to be promoted based on military merit alone. He had never been defeated. Whether it was kingdoms, demon tribes, remnants of old dynasties, or border town rebels. A man who would even fight a stray dog if it threatened the empire. And that man is my father. My biological father. Mun Campbell. Mun Campbell, you deserve your tragic fate. To have a mountain of treasure, and not know it. Who needs Santa Maria Academy? Who needs teachers? From now on, I will become a recluse and learn directly from my father. Yes, that's what I'll do. Just as he had made up his mind, a voice came from outside the door. Young master, are you awake? Mun turned in surprise. I've been up for a while. What is it, Anne? The master is looking for you, she said softly. Father. Well, I have something I want to talk to him about too. Let's go, Mun said, pushing her out the door, leaving her bewildered. The other maids saw this and whispered, Sister Anne. Ah, sorry, I meant head maid. Anne waved her hand. It's fine. You may all return to your duties. Headmate. Mun asked, intrigued. And, you got a promotion. Yes, she replied calmly. The previous head maid took the blame and resigned. Shortly after you recovered, the master appointed me as the new head maid. Took the blame and resigned. Mun said, clutching his head. I'm sorry. It was because of my order that she... I remember father said the head maid had been with him since he was very young. Though master and servant in name, their relationship was more like that of a sister or mother. Father must be very sad that she's gone. There is no need to apologize, young master, Anne said gently. It is not your fault. Besides, the head maid only resigned from her management position. She has not left the Campbell household. You will see her in a moment. A short while later, his mother rushed to him and buried his face in her chest. My precious Mun, I am so relieved to see you recovering so well, and I've told you so many times, don't call me Madam Mother. Mother or Mommy is fine. I am sorry, Mother, Mun stammered. Now, kneel down and let me feel something, she said, pushing his head down. Feel something? Mun asked, his face red. He looked up. Astama, don't tell me you. She released him and stroked his face. That's right, you're going to have a little brother or sister very soon. I've been feeling a bit heavy lately. When the royal physician was treating you, your father had him check on me too. It's true, they both cheered. I'm going to be a big brother. That's amazing. Do you want a little sister or a little brother? Either is fine. I'll love them both. I knew it. I just told your father that our little Mun is the best. He'll love his sibling no matter what. All right, Mun's father interrupted. The older one has just recovered from a serious injury, and the little one is still very fragile. Don't get too excited, Mother. Mun, sit down. I have something important to tell you. The family gathered around. What? Father, you're going back to the front lines. Mun exclaimed. Yes, his father confirmed grimly. I am leaving for the front this afternoon. I've been thinking about you going to the academy next month, leaving your mother alone in the royal capital. So, this afternoon, your mother and most of the maids will be leaving with me. I'll take them back to the Campbell estate for her to rest. He turned to a maid beside him. Fiona, I'll be counting on you while I'm away. Rest assured, my lord. I will take good care of the madam, Fiona replied with a bow. Father, do you have to go? Mun asked urgently. Besides you, the Empire must have plenty of other generals who can lead the army, right? It doesn't have to be a duke like you, does it? The situation is urgent, his father replied warily. I have no choice. In the Abyss lands to the west, those damn demon tribes are stirring again. This time. If all goes as planned, I may have to stay at the border for 3 years. The Abyss demon tribes. Mun was shocked. Wait, I remember this. In the original story, this invasion was just a feint to distract the human world and pave the way for a plan 30 years later. And that's when the protagonist officially begins her journey to save the world. 3 years. Father will be gone for 3 years. What about my plan? My teacher, my safety. To be mediocre at home but shake the world when I emerge. I'm doomed. I'm really doomed. Though his heart was sinking, Mun tried to remain calm. And so, the inevitable came. On the day his parents left, Mun saw them off like a soulless husk. All right, his father said to his mother. You were always the crybaby. Crying too much now will affect our little Campbell. If it weren't for this little rascal, I wouldn't even be going back to the estate. The thought of having to wait until little Mun's summer break to see him. He turned to his son. Mun. Yes. Mun replied listlessly. His father clapped him on the shoulder. In the incident with the assassins, you risked your life to save Her Highness. That proves you do not lack courage. You are a worthy member of House Campbell. Father, Mun interrupted, I'm not as brave as you say. Let me finish, his father said. As a man of House Campbell, protecting the nation is our duty. It is even more so our duty as one of the 4 great ducal families. Do you see this crest on my chest? It is the symbol of our Campbell family. The blade represents His Majesty's sword, and the dragon represents all the enemies of the Empire. I am the sharpest blade of the Empire. The men of House Campbell will all one day step onto their own battlefield. Perhaps you will take over my mantle, or perhaps you will find your own path. But none of that matters. I just want you to know that you are a man now. You have the qualities of an adult man. Furthermore, I have prepared for you the resources I never had when I was young. Do whatever you want. Father. Mun was moved to tears. All right, now for the main topic, his father said, his tone changing. Father, why the sudden change in style? Mun asked, bewildered. Those were just the formal words I have to say in situations like this, his father said, ignoring him. I'm asking you, what do you think of Anne? Anne. Why do you ask? Do you like her? His father asked. Well, if I had to choose between like and dislike, I would definitely choose like. I've watched that little girl grow up, his father explained. She comes from a respectable family, and is very intelligent. Most importantly, her feelings for you are not the normal feelings of a servant for her master. If you like her, you should seize the opportunity. Wait, Mun said, understanding. You mean you want me and Anne too? That's right, his father said bluntly. The main reason our family isn't larger is that your mother and I are rarely together. And now I have to go to the front lines again. But I'm still engaged to Celicia, Mun protested. Don't worry about that, his father explained. That was just a pie-in-the-sky idea from His Majesty. The original intention was for our family to become his backing to balance the power distribution behind Her Highness. Even if the princess does marry into our family, it's only right that we help her become stronger. In short, I want to be holding my grandchild in 3 years. Understood. But, no buts, this is an order from the head of the family. A short while later, the carriage departed. Young master, when you and the master were talking just now, you seemed to mention my name, Anne said softly. Is there something you need me to do? Mun scratched his head awkwardly. Well, it's not something I can't talk about. Father wants to set us up. He said something about us having children to continue the Campbell line. Ha ha ha, of course it's just a joke from an old man. Don't take it too seriously. Being a maid is just your current status. In the future, we will have our own lives, our own destinies. You are the best maid in our household. A perfect woman like you will surely meet an outstanding man in the future, not a piece of trash like your young master. If you ever like someone, you must tell me. I'll let you go. And I'll prepare a super luxurious wedding trousseau for you. We can't have the in-laws looking down on someone from the Campbell household. Go bravely and pursue your own happiness. Your young master, and the entire Campbell household, will always be your strongest supporters. With that, Mun walked away, feeling exhilarated. Damn, I'm so cool. All those years of reading novels weren't a waste. With a progressive young master like me, Anne must be moved to tears right now. But his words had a different effect on Anne. She trembled and muttered, Leave the Campbell household, let me go. You really have changed. Young master, I can't wait any longer. Tonight it is. Her eyes, sharp as daggers, followed Mun's retreating back. That night, in the ducal library, Mun sighed in frustration. It's true what they say, plans never keep up with changes. But even so, my most important goal right now is to get stronger. Since father isn't here, I'll have to learn on my own. As expected of a great duke who built his fortune on military merit. Although we don't have as many books on martial arts as the Imperial Library, it's enough for now. I'll postpone going to the academy. It's too dangerous to have contact with the main characters right now. Tomorrow, I'll have Anne help me with the leave of absence. I'll study martial arts texts, then use the Black Book simulation space to fight the assassin and gain experience. I'll stay home until I can defeat the assassin's shadow. For now, I'll stick to this plan. He picked up a book, glanced at the preface, and then took out the Black Book. He placed it in front of him, and opened it. New information appeared, skills unlocked, Fishbone Technique Basic Physical Training for Imperial Soldiers Basic Guide to Martial Arts Flexibility Techniques for Striking Body Pressure Points as expected, Mun exclaimed. I don't need to memorize everything, just reading the title of the book is enough for the Black Book to record it all. This function is amazing. I take back what I said about you being useless. I love you, my precious. He was kissing the Black Book when Anne opened the door. Young master, are you still reading? She asked, surprised. Anne, are you here to bring me a late night snack? Anne helped him sit down. Father took so many people with him, leaving only you and Noel's group. 4 of you to manage this huge ducal manor and take care of me. It must be hard on you. It is my duty, Anne replied, as usual. She picked up a bottle of wine. This is a vintage wine that the Lockerbie estate sent over this morning. I heard that only 100 bottles are produced each year. It sells for a sky-high price of 200,000 EMA on the market. Would you like to try some, young master? Wayne. No thanks. I still have to read. I don't want to fall asleep while reading. Her plan thwarted. Anne's hand tightened on the bottle, nearly crushing it. Then what would you like to drink, young master? She asked, her voice strained. Coffee, Mun said immediately. It'll help me stay awake. The familiar line came. My apologies, young master. Due to certain reasons, the only beverages available tonight are wine and black tea. She poured him a cup of tea. Mun, who was eating, paused for a few seconds. Is that so? Wait, why does that sound so familiar? Due to a maid's carelessness, the coffee beans were chewed on by rats, Anne explained. New coffee beans can only be bought tomorrow. You wouldn't want to drink coffee that has been touched by rats, would you, young master? Well, that's something no one wants, Mun said uncomfortably. Black tea is fine. It can also help me stay awake. He took a sip, and the familiar sensation made his brain click. He dropped the cup, his hand trembling, and stared at Anne's blurring image. Why did you betray? And caught him and held him in her arms. Rest assured, young master, she whispered. I have not betrayed you. I never will. Sleep now. You have no idea how much this pains me, she thought. I love you so much. How could you say such words? You've changed. So I can only cleanse you with my love. Accept my love, young Master Mun. We will always be together, until the end of the world. Some time later, Mun's eyes shot open. He looked in horror at his naked body, his hands and feet chained. He recognized this place. The person in the prophecy. It was you. Anne was now straddling him, smiling. That merchant in the black market didn't lie. The effect of this drug is not bad. And what are you doing? Mun shrieked in terror. What am I doing? Anne whispered back. Don't you know best, young master? 10 years ago, when you were 8, I was by your side. From that moment on, I have existed for you. I belong only to you. And in turn, you will belong only to me. All I am doing is putting the naughty young master back on the right track. What are you talking about? What right track? I don't understand, Anne. Let me go first. Let's talk this out properly, okay? No, she said, covering his mouth. It's too late. You don't have to do anything, young master. Just leave it to me. After tonight, from head to toe, inside and out, from your body to your soul, every part of you, every strand of your hair, every drop of your blood will belong to me. More time passed. Is it finally over? Mun wondered, dazed. I've lost count of how many times. After the 10th time, my consciousness started to blur. I never thought my 30-year-long great mage life would graduate like this. And what's even more unexpected is that the one who secretly fanned the flames that turned the original owner into a scumbag, and the one who imprisoned me and chopped me into 1,000 pieces as the prophecy foretold, was all Anne. He recalled her graceful form above him and sighed. As expected, even with mental preparation it's still a bit. And he suggested weakly, you don't have to force yourself. You can take off the shackles. No, she said, covering his mouth again. Compared to the long wait of 10 years, this little bit of suffering is nothing. For all these years, I have protected you, doted on you, guided you, made you arrogant, conceited, and ignorant, turning you into the useless young master that everyone fears, hates, and avoids, all so that you would belong only to me. For 10 years, I have always done this, just for today. So, do you understand, young master? No matter what you say, I will never let you go tonight. Mun was stunned, his face flushed. What? It was Anne. Who would have thought that the most beautiful, gentle, and reliable maid in the household was not only a super sick mastermind but also the one who turned the protagonist into a scumbag. Though last night was enjoyable, according to the Black Book's prophecy, I will eventually die at Anne's hands. Damn it. I barely escaped the exile plot, how can I die so easily? I have to find a way to escape. He struggled, and the chains rattled. Young master. Annen's soft voice came from beside him. He turned to see that she was already awake, watching him. What are you trying to do? Annen, you're awake, Mun said nervously. Nothing. My hands were a little sore, I just wanted to move them a bit. She pressed her body against his. Oh, it's already noon. Well, I can't be helped. Though I'm reluctant to leave, I still have to manage the ducal manor's affairs, or people will get suspicious. She got up and started dressing, then added, oh, that's right. Since the young master now belongs completely to me, then the people in the ducal manor should probably all be disposed of. Dispose of them all. Mun repeated in shock. Don't do that. Annen turned back, entreated. Oh. She pressed her face close to his and demanded, besides me, is there another maid in this manor that you like, young master? Who is it? It wouldn't be that Knoll girl, would it? No, of course not. Don't make wild guesses, I just. Suddenly Anne let out a short laugh, startling Mun. She covered her mouth. I was just joking. You don't need to be so tense, young master. As long as you are obedient, I won't harm anyone in the ducal manor. Then can you at least unlock these chains? Mun asked hesitantly. You say you like me. Do you really want to torture me in this position for the rest of my life? Of course, Annen replied with a snap of her fingers. Instantly, the shackles on Mun's hands and feet sprang open. As she turned to leave, she added, also, I'd advise you not to have any ideas. The core of this room is an enclosed space I had built from steel. The lock was crafted by a master locksmith. There is only one key. It took a great deal of time and effort to build this secret room right under Lord Lon's nose. If I suddenly disappear like this, won't the people in the manor be suspicious? Mun asked, baffled. I told them that with the master and Madame gone, you were lonely by yourself in the manor and decided to go to the academy early, Anne replied without a hint of concern. The maids weren't surprised. Rest assured, young master, no one will find out you are here. I will personally bring you your 3 meals a day. Aside from the fact that you now belong completely to me, everything is just as it was before. I am still Annen, your most trusted maid. As she spoke, Annen's hand darted down, touching him intimately, causing Mun to blush and freeze. After her little touch, she turned away, satisfied. You've recovered your spirits so quickly. As expected of the young master I love most. I would love to continue where we left off yesterday, but unfortunately, I must go. While I am away, please be a good boy and rest here. Wait, Mun shouted. At least give me back my clothes. But Anne paid him no mind, slamming the door shut. Alone in the room, Mun clutched his head and cursed. I thought of a million possibilities for who the shadowy figure in the Black Book's prophecy could be. Damn it, am I really just going to be stuck here as Anne's property? No, as good as yesterday was, a dozen times a night, every night. Even if the deadly fate from the prophecy doesn't happen, I'll die of exhaustion sooner or later. Of course, the most important thing is freedom. A man without freedom is no different from a salted fish. I have to try, no matter what. He jumped to the air vent and pulled with all his might, but it wouldn't budge. He crashed against it and rolled on the floor, clutching his shoulder. Ah, that hurts. After that attempt, Mun was convinced. It really is steel. Even the stone walls behind it are reinforced. And here I thought I could defy fate with the Black Book super cheat. This is really the end. Suddenly, dark energy emanated from above Mun's head, and the Black Book fell beside him. He couldn't even be bothered to look at it. Come on, man. I didn't call you. Don't mess with me right now. Annen's ability to control metal is not something ordinary magic can do. She's clearly a god's favorite on the same level as Celicia. Even if I frantically enter the training space now, it's too late. He gave up and closed his eyes. But he couldn't resist peeking at the book. Finally, he sat up with a sigh. All right. I'll train, he grumbled. Getting killed a few times to relax in the book is better than being crushed here. But as he flipped through the pages, he exclaimed, wait, this is the book I was reading last night. This is the path to victory. Inside the prison, the sound of counting echoed. 198, 199, one stop hit perhaps and collapse on the floor, hidden. Luckily, this body's constitution is still decent. The precious Black Book's training space can improve my skills, but it's easy to damage my brain. To improve my physical strength, I have to do it the old-fashioned way. Besides, Celicia. And now Anne. Damn it, from now on, I'll never be on the bottom again, I'm going to be on top. Seeing the young master in such high spirits, I can rest easy, a voice said. Mun turned his head, slightly surprised. And you back? Yes, my work is finished, she replied with a smile. What you just said? It sounded like a wife waiting for her husband to come home after a hard day's work. How cute. Eve brought you dinner and a bath. I've tested the water temperature, it's the temperature you like best. Great, Mun exclaimed. Come to think of it, I haven't bathed in 2 days. Anne blushed and turned away. That's right. So, young master, would you like to bathe first or eat dinner first or would you like to eat it first? I'll take a bath, Mun yelled. Anne, sweating, snapped back to reality. All right, of course. Soaking in the tub, Mun said softly, Anne. Yes, young master. Is the temperature not right? She replied obediently. It's not about the water temperature, Mun explained awkwardly. It's just that. I'm not a child anymore. I can handle bathing myself. By myself. Anne leaned in, teasing. It's only been one night, and you're already tired of me, young master. If it's not no, then it's good, Anne interrupted. The young master now belongs only to me. Every inch of your body must be washed clean. That is my duty as your guardian. You want it, don't you? It's all right. Here with me, you don't have to hold back. I will always. No, I'm not thinking about that, Mun protested. This is a normal reaction for a man, my brother, hold on. Don't lose to this yonder, he screamed internally. After teasing him for a bit, Anne backed away. All right, I won't tease you anymore. If you wish to bathe yourself, then I will feed you dinner. Okay, let's eat, Mun agreed eagerly. Here you go, young master. Open wide, Anne said, holding up a piece of steak. This is delicious, Mun exclaimed after taking a bite. I've never had beef this good, even with father and mother. It's so tender and juicy. The meat quality is amazing, and it's not chewy at all. You're amazing, young master, to be able to tell it's beef in an instant, Anne replied with a smile. Actually, you've eaten these ingredients before. I just usually stew them in a soup because I was afraid you wouldn't be used to them. I wonder what cut this delicious beef is from, Mun mused. Is it tenderloin or sirloin? Annen's face darkened as she uttered one word, pizzle. Thizzle. Mun was shocked. Bull's pizzle. And from a moglita bull, no less, Annen explained, clearly enjoying herself. I hear their abilities in that area are incredibly strong. It's said that during their mating season, if they can't find a partner, many hollowed-out trees will appear near their habitat at night. That's why they are called the tree-humping divine bulls. Mun felt sick to his stomach, but Anne continued nonchalantly, there's also tiger, goblin, and giant demon. If it weren't so rare in the Empire, dragon would actually be the best. Stop talking, Mun interrupted. How could you? Things like bull pizzle. Of course I can, Anne said calmly. In fact, I've been secretly adding these things to your food for a long time. Of course back then. That's enough, Mun shot up furious. I've had enough, imprisoning me in this godforsaken place without any daylight and feeding me this stuff. Bull's pizzle, is that something for humans to eat? I'm telling you, if you don't let me out, I'll, Evain started to blur. Annan gently caught him as he fell. As expected, just one drop is enough, she whispered. It's natural for you to be angry, young master. I understand how painful it is to lose your freedom. But the price of giving you freedom is losing you forever. That is something I will not allow to happen. So rest easy and sleep, young master. Leave everything to me. The night is still long. The next day, Mun struggled to open his eyes. You're awake, young master, Annan said with a smile, already dressed. I went a little overboard yesterday. I was afraid your body would be too tired, so I only did it twice. Are you feeling unwell anywhere? Mun snorted and turned away. Are you still angry with me, young master? Annan cooed, leaning closer. How about this? Since you've been so well behaved for the past 2 days, I can grant you one small request. How about it? A small request. Mun repeated, entreat. I want freedom. That's not possible, Annan immediately refused. Then I want my clothes. No. This isn't allowed. That isn't allowed, Mun exploded. Just how small is this small request of yours? Annan stroked her chin thoughtfully. Let's see. It's probably about the level of deciding what you have for lunch and dinner each day. Mun slumped in defeat. Deciding what to eat. That really is a small request. But it's better than nothing. So, have you thought of what you'd like to eat? Annan asked brightly. Mun cleared his throat. Come to think of it, I believe autumn is approaching. I remember at this time in previous years, I would go boating on Lake Bipo, enjoying the beautiful scenery of the falling autumn leaves while sipping red wine from Count Luke's estate and tasting the fresh-caught mackerel. You want to eat fish from Lake Bipo, young master? Annan asked doubtfully. But Lake Bipo is so far away. To send someone over there will. Alas, Mun began to lament dramatically. Last year, I was so full of life on the lake, but this year, I can only be locked in this tiny dungeon, waiting to die. Oh how sad, how pitiful, I can't even eat fish from Lake Bipo. What meaning is there in such a life? Ooh, I think I'd rather just die, young master. Anne said, a little flustered. She sighed in resignation. I understand. Really? You really agree? Mun shot up and grabbed her hand. Annan nodded. Yes. I will do it. I will get you fish from Lake Bipo, no matter the cost. You're the best. As expected of our household's most reliable head maid, Mun gushed, making a heart shape with his hands. Do your best. I'll be waiting for you at home. Anne's face turned beet red. Before Mun knew what was happening, she pulled him into a fierce, possessive kiss. After a moment, she pushed him away and turned to leave. Annan, Mun called out softly. The road to Lake Bipo is long, she said without turning back. I will try to be back before noon tomorrow. I hope you can endure it until then. I'm leaving now. Once outside, Anne muttered to herself as she walked, that was close. I almost couldn't hold back. The young master is truly the cutest in the world. I must catch the fish quickly so I can return to love him sooner. Inside the cell, Mun watched her go and sigh. She's finally gone. I was tortured all night again. But at least I found a chance to break this stalemate. Now then, my big, precious black boy. Besides that evil cult assassin, he should be able to create other training simulations, right? Of course, the book replied. Mun smiled. Very good. Based on that book I read before, create a training space for me with 1,000 locks. I want to master this divine skill before Anne returns. At the border of Lake Bipo, a thunderstorm raged. Mayam, I told you, Lake Bipo is extremely dangerous right now. You can't go near it. A man in black tried to stop Anne. Why not? She snapped, pulling her arm away. That's not for you to know. You should leave, quickly. Before he could finish, Anne glared at him. A sharp spike shot up from the ground, impaling his hand. I hate it when anyone other than the young master touches my body, she warned, turning her head. This dagger is just a small reminder. If you dare to obstruct me again, I will throw your corpse, cut into 1,000 pieces, into the lake to feed the fish. Now, answer my question. What exactly happened at Lake Bipo? You crazy woman, the man cursed. If you want to die, I won't stop you. The master of Lake Bipo has awakened. The Adventurers Guild sent people to investigate and confirmed it's a Hegemon-class demonic beast. There's a B-rank adventurer team taking it down right now, which is why the lake is sealed. Hegemon class. Annan said calmly. So that's it. The strange weather must be because of it, right? Probably, the man stammered. Anyway, just go. As for injuring me, just give me 300 ime for treatment, and I'll let it go. Otherwise, if you bother the adventurer team, you won't have a good end. A bag of coins landed at his feet. You're still going after all that? He asked in disbelief. Of course, Annan replied nonchalantly. You're insane, the man yelled. You know there's danger ahead, and you still want to go. What on earth is making you so stubborn? Why? Annan said as she walked away. For love, of course. Elsewhere, a young girl stood in the rain, stealing her resolve. If this continues, I'll be taken back. I can't let that happen. This is what I'll do. After this mission is over, I'll confess to him. Eluka, what are you spacing out for? Use your healing magic, quick, I can't hold on much longer, a voice shouted. Right, Eluka quickly began to chant. Spirit of life, I beseech thee. Nearby, 2 other adventurers watched the lake anxiously. It's coming, after so many magic formations, it's finally coming up, the master of Lake Bapo. The water churned, and a giant fish erupted from the surface, gathering water orbs in its mouth. Aegis of the earth, the young man in the group yelled, raising his shield. A barrier appeared, blocking the water cannons. Hurry, use your attack magic, he urged. Oh, okay, Eluka replied, startled. She closed her eyes and chanted. Angel who wields the snow and ice, I pray. Explosion magic. A burst of fire shot into the fish's maw. Rudder, now, Eluka shouted. Rudder charged forward, leaped towards the fish, and brought his weapon down hard on its head, knocking it back into the lake. He sat down, panting, and gave a thumbs up. It's over. Nice job, Chia. Are you hurt? Kia asked, shyly tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. I'm fine. Luckily, you managed to restrain it in time, Rudder said cheerfully. Don't move, let me see. Your palm is scraped. You're so gentle, Tia. It's great having you as a teammate. The scene stung Eluka's eyes. She bit her lip and mumbled. Why? We promised each other that when we grew up, we'd become the strongest 2-person adventure team. We'd be together forever. I worked so hard to catch up to him, but he never had eyes for me. I was the one who appeared in his world first. But now, I don't even have the right to be his support. He turned his head, and fell for someone else. Why? Eluka, what are you thinking about? Rudder called. Come on, let's divide up the master of the lake. Coming, Eluka said, forcing a smile. But suddenly, a tremor ran through the ground. A massive column of water shot up from the placid lake, and a dark shadow fell over them. How can this be? They trembled. There's another master of Lake Bapo. Chia quickly launched another explosion spell, but it was like a muzzle bite to the new creature. The attack only enraged it. Lightning crackled on its horn and a bolt struck the ground, shattering it. Eluka grabbed Rudder and pulled him back. Eluka, we're no match for this thing. We have to get out of here, Rudder yelled. What about you? Eluka hesitated. I'm the one who dragged Tia into this group. I have to protect her. Even if it means dying, I'll die with her. His words left Eluka stunned. Rudder, oblivious, charged forward. Tia, from a distance, and watched the scene unfold. She gathered magic in her hand and muttered, the master of Lake Bapo. So that's it. This is a hegemon class demonic beast. This is all a hegemon class is. It shouldn't take too long to turn it into a dragon pizzle for the young master. The giant fish gathered magic on its horn. Seeing the powerful attack building, Rudder cursed under his breath and pulled Tia into his embrace. Subjugate, Annan said softly. A pillar of light shot down from the sky, striking the creature. The shockwave of fire made Rudder squeeze his eyes shut, but when he felt no pain, he opened them and looked back. The giant fish was trapped in a magic barrier. Its attack with blocked, Eluka said in disbelief. Are you alright? Annan asked, walking over. I'm fine. You are. Good, Annan said, walking past her. I'm going to kill it now. Protect yourself. A dark, vicus magic emanated from her body. Dark energy turned into a liquid. What kind of magic is this? Eluka thought in awe. Before the fish could break free, the dark magic pierced through it. You've been making a racket this whole time, Anne said coldly. You scared away the young master's fish. You'll pay for that with your life. The dark magic twisted, and the giant fish was torn apart into a bloody mist, its remains sinking back into the lake. Hejun Clastomipes, Wujus, annihilated. Rudder stared in shock. Rudder, are you okay? Eluka ran to him. I'm fine, he said curtly. But Tia is badly injured. I still have some healing potions. Eluka, could you do me a favor? A favor? Yes, Rudder said with a smile. Go find that lady, and see if she's an adventurer or has a team. If not, ask her if she wants to join ours. She took down a hegemon class beast in one move and with that incredible magic. If she joins our team, our strength will increase dramatically and we won't have to face desperate situations like this again. Meanwhile, Anne had caught a few fish. If I remember correctly, last year, the boatman handled everything from catching the fish to serving it. Which kind does the young master actually like to eat? What a blunder. To make such a small mistake. not even knowing the young master's favorite fish. I'm truly an unqualified maid. Excuse me, Iruka's voice came. The two fish you're holding are inedible. The bright red one has tough, fishy meat, and the colorful one is highly poisonous. The two fish in front of you on the left are delicious. They're a famous species from Lake Bapo. You know a lot about fish, Anne said, intrigued. My village is just across the lake, Iruka explained with a smile. Every autumn, my family and I would come here to catch these fish. Many nobles like the fish from this lake, so we can always sell them for a good price. Could you teach me how to cook this fish? Anne asked. Of course, Iruka replied readily. 10 minutes later, Anne was jotting down the recipe. Grill or steam. After marinating with coarse salt for 15 minutes, add sliced ginger and cooking wine to remove the fishy smell. So that's how it is. Thank you for your guidance. You've been a great help. Oh, no need to thank me, Iruka said, embarrassed. Compared to you saving us from that monster, this is nothing. Miss Anne, did you come all this way to catch fish for someone you like? Anna nodded seriously. Yes. The person I love wants to eat fish from here, so I came. To be able to express your feelings to the one you love. Your lover must be very happy, Iruka said with admiration. The comment made Anne pause for a moment, an image of Mun back in the cell flashing through her mind. She picked up her bucket of fish. Yes. He is very happy. Once he fully understands the depth of my love. Thank you for your help. I've caught the fish, so I'll be heading back now. Miss Annan, please wait, Iruka called out, mustering her courage. Regarding matters of the heart. I have a small question. Could I ask for some advice from an experienced senior like you? Anne put down the bucket. Matters of the heart. There are many difficult problems in this world with no fixed answers. But in return for your help with the recipe, go ahead and ask. I will do my best to combine my own experiences and offer you some helpful methods. Well, it's about a friend of mine, Iruka Bidansheli. She likes someone. She's liked him for a very long time. But she didn't know if the person she liked her back because he was very slow to catch on and treated everyone around him with immense warmth. And asked again, a warm type of man. The type who is kind to everyone. Iruka admitted, your explanation isn't wrong. My friend is planning to confess to him. But just then, another woman appeared. And repeated, a love triangle. Iruka grew even more flustered. Yes. So lately, my friend has been wavering. Because the person she likes is clearly a little nicer to the other girl, she thinks it might be better to give up. After all, they are mutually in love, and she is just a childhood friend. Hearing this, and sighed, understanding her frustration. Then I'll ask you directly. Miss Iruka, how much do you like that man? Iruka jumped, denying it. No, it's not me, it's my friend. But she helplessly held her head. I should just tell the truth. I really like him. I've liked him since we were little. For over 10 years now. And chimed in, do you like him enough to die for him? Iruka said without hesitation, of course. And asked again, and besides that? Iruka said decisively, not just my life. I would do anything for him, even things that society wouldn't accept. Hearing this, and pulled up her hood. In that case, don't you already have your answer? If your love for him is that deep, is it still necessary to ask me? Iruka hesitated. What Missin means is. And turned her head and guided her, follow the true desires of your heart. Give the one you love everything you have, and don't make choices you'll regret. This is my small suggestion for your current predicament. Good luck. Miss Iruka watched Anne's retreating back and muttered, willing to give everything for the one I love, listening and following the call of my heart. Suddenly, a strange fire ignited within her body, and Iruka's face changed drastically. She collapsed in pain, clutching her chest as a strange voice echoed in her head. Do you really want to give up? It asked. You, who would cast aside morals, law, and even your own life for him. You, who are willing to sacrifice everything. Do you truly accept letting them be together? Iruka sobbed. No, how could I bear something like that? If Rotter were to be with someone other than me, I would go mad with anger, especially that bitch Tia. It would be better if she just died. The voice sounded again. It seems you've seen the light. Go, Iruka, pursue the deepest desires of your heart. Conquer and possess him. Be by his side every second of every minute. Make him yours. Iruka hesitated, but Rotter is very strong. What should I do? The voice advised, no matter how strong a man is, if you cut off his limbs and put a collar on him, he can only obediently bark woof woof. Don't worry, Iruka, I will grant you power. I am the embodiment of the absolute, great power of love. Just then, Rotter turned to Iruka and asked, are you okay? He suddenly collapsed. Did that girl do something to you? Iruka forced a smile. It's nothing, Missin didn't do anything to me. I just used too much energy and I'm a little tired. I just asked for you. Missin is a maid of her family, so she can't join our expedition team. Rotter sighed sadly. Is that so? Then it can't be helped. It's a pity she's already left. I was going to thank her personally. If she hadn't saved us, I'm afraid we. Suddenly Tia exclaimed, "Wait, on your chest, are you injured?" Eruka only then noticed the mark on her chest and quickly covered it, denying it. "Ah, it's nothing, it was from the monster's attack. It's just a bruise. Speaking of which, this place isn't safe. There might still be other monsters. We should go back to the guild to recover. Tia's wound also needs to be treated." Rotor agreed and picked Tia up. "You're right, let's find a place to recover quickly." Tia was startled by his action. "Rotor, what are you doing? Put me down, I can walk on my own." Rotor didn't let go. "Don't be so stubborn. You're so light, I could carry you all day. You got hurt because of me, after all. I told you before that you could rely on me more." The more they talked, the more vicious Eruka's gaze became. The next afternoon, in the dungeon under the Campbell ducal mansion, Moon was lying exhausted in a heat. Suddenly, and walked in and called out, "Young master, I'm back." Moon burst into tears and sat up. "You're finally back. If I didn't see you again, I would have died." And curiously stepped closer. "Oh, has the young master finally been moved by me? Have you agreed to offer your entire body and heart to me?" Moon turned away and retorted, "That's not it, you were gone for a day and a night. If you didn't come back, I would have starved to death." And immediately put down the plate of food. "I'm sorry, young master. Lake Popo is very far, but I rushed back so that you could eat the freshest fish. Here, young master, the fish you wanted." She opened the lid, revealing 2 steaming fish. Moon exclaimed with joy, "It smells so good," and then asked, "I've steamed one and fried the other. Which one would you like to try?" Moon immediately chose. "Then let's try the steamed fish first." And nodded and scooped a spoonful. Open wide. Moon obediently opened his mouth, and as the meat entered, he exclaimed in surprise, "Whoa, it's really delicious, and, you try some." And gently refused, "No need. The food was prepared for the young master. Oh, by the way, I heard this type of fish has many bones. Please be careful not to choke." Moon smiled dismissively. "Oh please, I'm not a child, how could I possibly?" Before he could finish, he fell silent, his face contorted as he clutched his neck. "I think I really choked on a bone." And immediately leaned in. "Really? Then there's no other way." Moon panicked. Wait, what are you trying to do?" And replied calmly, "I want to kiss the young master." Moon couldn't believe it and yelled, "Now." And explained coquettishly, "Yes. Didn't you choke on a bone? When we kiss, I'll pinch your nose and then inhale deeply. My lung capacity is very large, so I'll definitely be able to suck it out." Moon felt as if 1,000 lightning bolts had struck him. "Kiss and then suck it out? You're kidding, right?" Before he could finish, and pushed him down. Moon could only cry out, "Oh my god, wait a minute, your hands, don't," and restrained him, forcefully pushed him down, and kissed him. After a moment, she stopped and smiled, "See, young master. The fish bone is out." Moon, sweating, avoided her gaze. "Thank you. Just give me the plate. I can eat by myself. I won't choke again." Watching him eat normally, and stood by and smiled intently. A while later, Moon leaned back in sight, so satisfying. Truly a famous delicacy of the empire. The taste was incredible. And quickly cleared the plate. "If the young master is full, then should we do that next?" Moon repeated dazedly, "That. Don't tell me you're talking about." And tied her hair up and confirmed, according to the orders of the family patriarch, "We are to quickly conceive a child to continue the Campbell family line." Moon immediately sobered up, jumping up to stop her. Wait a minute, not now," and immediately lunged forward. "We've done it so many times this week. Has the young master already grown tired of me?" Moon backed away awkwardly. "No, that's not it." And pressed on, "Then what's the reason?" Moon had to make an excuse. "I just finished eating. Experts say exercising immediately after a meal is bad for your health. Plus, you must be tired after such a long journey. If we aren't in our best condition, the child won't be healthy. Do you understand?" And was moved by his words. "Is the young master concerned about my body?" Moon had no choice but to agree. "Yes, your understanding is correct. Anyway, can we do it tonight instead?" And respectfully accepted. "The young master makes a good point. Then let's wait until tonight. Besides, there is something I wish to report to you." Moon was curious. "Report to me. What is it?" And recounted on the way back. "I passed through RIZZES, a city famous for its textile technology. They make custom garments for the nobility." Moon cut her off, and leaned close to his face and whispered, "I bought a very sexy outfit. The material is the black fishnet stockings the young master likes the most, a shiny one piece, with small accessories. I heard it's the most popular maid dress style in the nightclubs recently. It's called Bunny Girl." An image immediately formed in Moon's mind, and his nose started bleeding. This, China thy fish it, bunning curl, who told you I like fate suckings? This young master is a righteous gentleman. I don't talk nonsense. And just smiled. Is that so? Has the young master forgotten that I've been by your side all these years? In that closet of yours, there are quite a few items from your collection, and stockings are the most common, especially black ones. Have you not noticed? From the time you were a boy until now, I have always worn black stockings. My wardrobe only contains black. It's all for you. Myun sighed helplessly. I always thought that was just your preference. You win. I give up. This young master just loves black fishnet stockings. Super loves them. Hearing this, and covered her mouth and chuckled. The young master is also cute when he's honest with himself. Well then, I'll go take care of some leftover duties. I'll see you tonight. Myun agreed, and them, go on. I'm going to take a nap. And walked out, the heavy iron door closing behind her. Myun puffed out his cheeks and spit out a few fish bones, thinking, finally got rid of her. The black book showed the time was now 300 bim. According to the pattern of the past week, and would finish her duties at 600 bim. 3 hours. Enough time. He tiptoed to the iron door, inserted a homemade fish bone into the keyhole, his eyes shining. Activate skill. Max level fish bone lock picking. Myun's mind was pulled into a strange space. Seeing the row of tumblers, he cried out, a 12-pin lock. He was thrown back by the backlash. Oh my god, 12 pins. The lock is 12 pins. The principle was that after inserting the fish bone, all 12 pins had to be pushed to the correct position simultaneously. One mistake, and all the previous pins would reset. The fish bone was fragile and could easily snap from the spring tension. If it failed, the tool would be broken. He only had 4 suitable fish bones left. But the most desperate part was that if he failed, and would find the broken bone in the lock upon her return. This meant he had only one chance to escape this cage. Myun fumbled by the door but failed again. The fish bone snapped. He trembled, looking at the broken piece in his hand. One more down. Only 3 left. Damn it, an hour and a half of effort down the drain. I wish the locksmith and his whole family good health and prosperity. This is infuriating. Just then, the black book appeared. He read it and muttered, 500 them. Only an hour until In brings dinner. And only 1 fish bone left. It's okay. I'm already familiar with the first 10 pins. This has to be the one. Fish bone lock picking skill. Full power. He charged at the lock one last time. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Anne and Noel were cooking. Noel tasted the fish soup and exclaimed, so delicious, as expected of fish from Lake Popo. This is the best fish soup I've ever had. Anne, scooping some into a container, said, it's thanks to your help, Noel. We finished dinner an hour earlier than usual. Noel smiled, not at all, I just helped a little. You did everything, Sister Anne. But I've noticed you've been learning new recipes lately. The master and mistress are away, and young Master Myun is gone, so it's just us. And after you cook, you always take a portion away. And we've been eating fish for days now. These words made Anne's killing intent rise. The knives on the counter were instantly covered in magic. But then Noel exclaimed, oh, I know. Sister Anne, you must be secretly raising a pet in the mansion. I bet it's a cat, right? Young Master Myun doesn't like small animals because of the fur, so we've never had any. See, raising a pet secretly is against the rules, and since you're the head maid now, you can't tell anyone. Right. Seeing her innocent guess, and covered her mouth and chuckled. Can you keep this a secret for me? Noel happily agreed. Of course, I love furry animals. My grandmother used to have many. By the way, Sister Anne, can I come see the cat? And forced a smile. I'm sorry, Noel, but it's very shy around strangers right now. Maybe another time, after it gets more used to things. Noel didn't think much of it. I understand, taking care of a fur baby isn't easy. Good luck, Sister Anne, and left calling back, excuse me, as she walked to the cellar entrance, and thought, that was close. Disposing of a maid's body without arousing suspicion would have been troublesome. But Noel reminded me that being locked up for too long will make the young master bored. I should consider getting him a small animal to ease his loneliness. A cat is a good choice. I wonder what color he'd like, a beautiful yellow one like him, or a black one like me. I should ask him directly. As she thought this, her eyes widened in shock. The food she was carrying fell to the ground. The door to the prison cell was wide open. Myun was now navigating the sewers. I'm finally out, the prison was under the sewers. You're really something, Anne. The wind is blowing this way, so the exit must be ahead. He slipped, his head hitting a wooden crate. No good. I can't see a thing. But in my memory, I'm already far from the cell, so it should be safe. He immediately used an illumination spell, and a ball of light formed in his palm. So this is an illumination spell. Pretty useful. With this, I should be out soon. Before he could finish, a knife flew from behind, embedding itself in the wall right next to him. He jumped in terror. Trembling, he turned around. No, it can't be, I've run so far, behind him, surrounded by black magic, and slowly approached. She stared at him and called out, I found you, young master. Myun was speechless. Then his survival instinct kicked in, and he bolted. Damn it, it was so hard to escape that cage. Don't you underestimate me. He used shadow step, pushing his speed to the maximum. Behind him, and controlled a swarm of weapons that flew after him, forcing him to dodge frantically. He charged forward, but suddenly vanished, leaving only a few empty wooden crates. And landed and kicked one apart. He's fast. Is that magic from Santa Maria Academy? I thought I had locked it securely, but you still escape. I have to admit, he underestimated you, young master. But you can't escape my grasp. How about this? Come out. On your own, and I won't pursue this matter. Otherwise. She punched another crate, blowing it to pieces. Myun, hiding inside a nearby crate, was sweating cold. An's voice echoed like a death sentence. Guessed wrong. What a pity. The next one. And punched several more crates, but found nothing. She was surprised. No fluctuation in the air current. Is he really not here anymore? Unwilling to give up, she rushed forward to search. 10 minutes later, Myun trembled as he peeked out from his hiding spot. Looks like she's gone. Damn, I was so scared my heart almost gave out. I thought I was going to be killed. Just as he reached for the lid, his eyes widened in horror. Outside, An's crimson eyes were staring in. Without a word, she smashed the crate with one punch. But underneath was only wood debris. Myun was gone. And thought for a moment. It must have been my imagination. The young master has indeed run far. A pity. I must find him quickly before Noel's group finds out. She left, unaware that Myun had fainted from sheer terror and was buried under the rubble. A while later, rain began to pour outside. The black book appeared and fell on Myun's head, waking him. He crawled out of the wreckage, his heart pounding as he recalled the close call. Damn, she actually came back. It's a good thing I fainted, or I would have soiled myself. Half an hour has passed. I can't tell if she's searching outside or waiting at the exit. But either way, it's too dangerous to stay here. I have to take a gamble. Putting all his strength into it, Myun sped off. At the end of the tunnel, he struggled to push a large cabinet aside and crawled out. Looking at the pouring rain outside, he stammered in disbelief, I'm out. I succeeded, this is freedom. He quickly covered his mouth. That was close. Now is not the time to celebrate. And could be anywhere. I have to leave the ducal mansion. No, I have to leave the capital entirely. The farther, the better. If I get caught again, the Black Book's prophecy will surely come true. 2 days later on the Biolan plains, Myun lay on the grass, sighing. 2 days and 2 nights. I'm finally out of the capital's reach. The morning sun, the grassy breeze. My nerves are finally calming down. I should get some sleep. But then he shook his head. No, it's not time to relax. I'm only 1 city away. With An's methods, she could catch up quickly if she finds a trace of me. There are 2 paths to complete escape, go to the Campbell territory or go to Santa Maria Academy. The academy is closer. He stood up and cracked his neck. My head is a little clearer. I'll just run straight to Santa Maria Academy. Suddenly, a voice came from behind him. Stop right there. You think the 3 of us are dead. Hand over everything valuable, now. If you're obedient, we won't hurt you. If not, then don't blame us for not being polite. Iruka's face darkened. I'm an adventurer. Have you considered the consequences of robbing? The scarred-faced man laughed. Of course we can see you're an adventurer. But you're a magician, right? You don't radiate any fighting spirit. If you had a companion to hold us off for even a moment, we'd run for the hills. But you're alone. Iruka coldly pointed her staff at them. You do nothing but rob people. Aren't you afraid of running into a righteous warrior who will deliver justice? The man sneered. A righteous warrior. Little beauty, you still don't get it, do you? We are professional mountain bandits. You know what professional means. His 2 underlings chimed in. It means we have a clear plan, a clear route, and we've accurately identified our target to ensure no mistakes. That's professional, and don't back away. We know you want to create distance to cast spells on us. Take 1 more step back, and we'll cut off your hand. As for that righteous warrior you mentioned, we scouted the area. No one ever comes through here. As he was boasting, Myun emerged from a nearby lake and shouted, Stop, the bandits stared in confusion. A blonde merman. Merman my ass. Look closely, I'm a man. Myun pointed at them and scolded. What's so great about 3 grown men ganging up on a girl? If you have any guts, come at me. The bandits immediately agreed. Your wish is my command. This caught Myun off guard. You agreed that quickly. The 3 men waved their hands dismissively at Iruka. Beauty, you can go. Seeing how readily they agreed, Myun jumped up in a panic. Boss, wait a minute, 3 big brothers, look, all I have are these rags. I don't have any money. How about this? Give me your contact info, and when I get home, I'll send each of you 2,000 MA coins. But the scarred-faced man sheathed his sword. Who said we wanted your money? Lonely fools pass through here all the time. But a blonde-haired, blue-eyed beauty like you is a rare find. If you were a woman, I wouldn't be that interested, but you're a man. Brothers, the plan's changed. Today, we're taking his virtue instead. Moon fled in terror, screaming, what the hell is wrong with this world? There are gay people in this world too. You damn pervert, don't you come near me. Listen to me, stop running, let me have a look. As she was let go, Iruka took a deep breath and began to chant a spell, a spirit hovering in the air. In the name of my master, I command you, explosive flame spell. A giant fireball shot towards the bandits, engulfing them in flames as they shrieked in agony. Boss, save us. The scene left Moon momentarily stunned. Holy crap. Iruka slowly walked over. Those 3 idiots have been dealt with. You can come up now, Mr. Merman. Thank you for distracting them, it gave me the opening I needed. Moon came ashore, scratching his head sheepishly. Oh, it was nothing. Your magic is the really impressive thing, miss. Suddenly Iruka changed the subject. Speaking of which, this is the Bielan wilderness. Are you just walking around in the nude? You city folk are really something else. Moon explained in a fluster. No, it's not what you think. I have my reasons, believe me. Oh, right, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Moon, a wanderer for the time being. It's a pleasure to meet you. Iruka shook his hand. I'm Iruka. I used to be an adventurer, but now I'm a newlywed, practicing to become a good wife and mother. Moon asked with interest, so you're already married? Iruka blushed and covered her face. Yes, I just got married last night. Moon offered his heartfelt congratulations. Congratulations, Miss Iruka, I wish you and your husband 100 years of happiness, a harmonious life, and may you grow old together and have children soon. Iruka became even more shy. Thank you. Suddenly, Moon's stomach rumbled loudly. Iruka asked in surprise, Mr. Moon, are you hungry? Moon scratched his head, embarrassed. Yes, I am. Sorry, I haven't eaten in 2 days. Iruka turned and offered, if you don't mind, come with me. Her words made Moon a bit hesitant. Miss Iruka. She turned back to explain, to repay you for distracting the bandits, I'll buy some food and cook for you. Besides, if you're not an exhibitionist, you'll surely get sick walking around naked like that. My husband is about your height, his clothes should fit you. Hearing this, Moon's eyes lit up with excitement. Really? You'll not only feed me but also give me clothes. Iruka explained, they're just some simple, old clothes. Don't get your hopes up too high. The 2 of them cheerfully set off, laughing and talking the whole way. Miss Iruka, you're such a kind person. No, Miss Iruka seems like a goddess of kindness and beauty sent down from heaven. You're exaggerating. What goddess? I'm just an ordinary wife. For your husband to marry someone as beautiful and kind as you, he must have hundreds of years of good fortune. When it comes to being a wife. Mr. Moon, please continue the compliments. I like hearing them. Along the way, Moon remembered to ask, speaking of which, Miss Iruka, didn't you just get married? Why are you out here in this desolate wilderness? You even ran into bandits. Iruka explained, I came to town to handle some business related to my husband's work and to buy some fresh food on the way. Moon was quite surprised. Work? You're an adventurer, so your husband must be one too, right? At the mention of her husband, Iruka became shy again. That's right. But because of our marriage, Roder and I are temporarily taking a break from adventuring, so we came to the guild to report it. If we don't report in for too long, the guild will assume something happened to us and file a death report. Things like that happen every year. Is fish okay for dinner tonight, Mr. Moon? Moon was ecstatic, agreeing with both hands. Yes, of course. This young master loves fish the most. Suddenly, a voice echoed in his head. I love you. Moon stopped and looked around. Strange. Iruka, who was walking ahead, turned back. What's wrong, Mr. Moon? Moon awkwardly scratched his head. Did you hear anything? Iruka immediately said, no. Moon could only dismiss it. It's nothing. I've probably been starving for so long I'm starting to have hallucinations. Let's get going. A while later, they arrived at a small town and stood before a large, well-built house. Moon couldn't help but exclaim, whoa, Miss Iruka, your house is huge. Iruka humbly explained, this isn't my house. It belongs to the village chief. We're just staying here temporarily. Moon continued to look around and then asked, by the way, Miss Iruka, I've been meaning to ask. Your village is so quiet. We didn't see anyone on the way here, and all the house doors are wide open. Aren't you worried about thieves? After a moment of silence, Iruka tucked her hair behind her ear, and asked in return, it's because everyone is very busy right now. Mr. Moon, do you know of Lake Bepo? Moon immediately replied, I do. Not only do I know it, but I've also eaten the fish from there. Iruka explained, Lake Bapo is less than 5 miles from here. The harvest season is approaching, and our land isn't suitable for farming, so the villagers rely on the money from catching fish for the nobles to cover their living expenses for the year. My husband and I are adventurers in this village. Rudder is in charge of security and transporting the caught fish to the city to sell, which takes several days at a time. I stay behind to guard the village. You could say we're in a special period of village guarding right now. Listening to this, Moon stroked his chin and mumbled, so that's how it is. No wonder we didn't see anyone on the road. It must be tough. Suddenly, the voice echoed in his head again. I love you. It made him freeze. Iruka, up ahead, urged him on. Come in. There are shoes. To change into at the door. Moon kept looking around nervously. Oh, okay. That voice is getting closer. Is it really just a hallucination? Inside the house, Iruka changed her clothes and brought him some things. Moon, here are some clothes and water. You can wait here for a bit, or you can go to the well outside to wash up. Dinner will be ready soon. Moon happily agreed. Okay, thank you for your trouble. Thank you, Ms. Iruka. Iruka replied casually, don't mention it. Remembering his previous lesson, Moon carefully inspected the water before chugging it down. No floating objects, normal taste, no side effects, no drugs or strange substances. It seems to be normal boiled water. Miss Iruka's story logically makes sense. It seems I can trust her. But I still have this strange, unidentifiable feeling. A while later, Moon had finished all the food. He patted his full stomach and let out a satisfied sigh. That was great. Miss Iruka's cooking is truly excellent, no less than my family's maid. I'm sure you'll be an outstanding wife. Praised. Iruka smiled mostly. You're too kind. It was just a simple meal. But you just mentioned to me. Mr. Moon, you're probably not an ordinary person, are you? Moon didn't hide it and admitted, you're right. Speaking of which, I have a favor to ask you. Do you know of the Campbell family? One of the 4 great families of the empire. My full name is Moon Campbell. Hearing this, Iruka was startled. The Duke's son. Moon confirmed, that's right. For certain reasons, I am currently being hunted. I hope that you, Miss Iruka, in your capacity as an adventurer, can help me go to the Adventurers Guild to rent a horse or a carriage, and also write a letter to the Campbell leader. If you could make a trip there, it would be great. Hearing this, Iruka couldn't help but chuckle. Is that all? I thought you were going to ask to borrow 30,000 Nime coins to help you reclaim your position in the capital. Moon insisted. Desperately, I really am the Duke's son, Miss Iruka, and I ran all the way here from the capital. After this is done, I'll give you 10,000. No, 20,000. I'll give you 20,000 Nime coins as a reward. Iruka hesitated slightly. Nime coins. You're not going to make me the president of the Adventurers Guild or the Countess of Biolan or something. Moon rushed forward in frustration. I'm not kidding. I'm serious. This is incredibly important to me. Please take this seriously, Miss Iruka. Iruka chuckled again. Sorry. I understand what you mean. I was originally planning on having you stay here for another night anyway. After all, there are wild beasts lurking outside the village. Let me show you to your room. As she spoke, she placed a bowl of milk on the table. Moon was taken aback and reconfirmed. So, does that mean you agree? Iruka replied firmly, of course. 20,000 Nime coins is no small sum. I wouldn't make that much even after completing 30 quests. I have no reason to refuse. Moon thanked her profusely. Then thank you so much, Miss Iruka, you truly are an angel. A while later, Iruka led Moon down a dark hallway. You can stay here tonight. Moon looked inside and exclaimed, it looks very clean. Iruka added a warning. The washroom is by the well you used earlier. Don't run around at night, and don't open the doors to the other rooms, especially the one at the very end. Moon's interest was piqued. Why? Behind that door, Iruka interjected, the meat from hunted animals is cut into pieces and dried after being butchered. Winter is in 2 months, so we have to make dried meat to prepare. If you open the door now, the smell of blood will spread throughout the house. As for the other rooms, this house isn't mine. If you mess up the village chief's things, he'll be very angry when he returns. The reason was so convincing that Moon immediately agreed. I understand. Promise I won't run around. Seeing Moon enter the room, Iruka left with a farewell. Then, have a good rest, Mr. Moon. Moon also waved. I'll leave it to you then, Miss Iruka. Good night. See you tomorrow. The moment the door slammed shut, Iruka's expression instantly changed. She muttered under her breath, see you tomorrow. A pity you won't live to see it. A noble young master is only a young master while he's alive. Once dead, you're nothing but a sacrifice for the great love god. I've chosen you. At the same time, where Moon had first met Iruka and arrived and found a piece of his clothing. She held it to her nose and confirmed, this is definitely the young master's scent. To think he ran to such a remote place. But no matter how you run, it's all in vain. You are destined never to escape my grasp, my dearest young master. Meanwhile, inside Iruka's house, Moon had fallen asleep without a care in the world. Suddenly, he frowned in discomfort and sat up, holding his head. Knew I shouldn't have drunk so much water. I have to go so badly. Suddenly, the sound of a dog barking came from outside. Moon curiously went out, wondering, a dog. He didn't seem to remember seeing one earlier. Coincidentally, Iruka came out in her nightgown and called, Mr. Moon, it's so late. You're not asleep yet. Is something wrong? Moon jumped. Well, you know, nature calls. I couldn't hold it in, so I got up to find the washroom. Iruka replied casually, I see. Moon then asked, by the way, I heard a dog barking just now. Do you have a dog, Miss Iruka? Iruka smiled with amusement. Yes, it's our family dog. He's the handsomest, cutest dog in the world. He's usually very well behaved. If he's barking now, he must be hungry. Moon let out a sigh of relief. You see. I thought I was mishearing things. Can I see your dog, Miss Iruka? I quite like dogs, especially big golden retrievers. They're fluffy as puppies and super smart. I've always wanted to raise one. But Iruka cut him off. I'm sorry, I'm afraid that's not possible. Our dog is very shy around people, otherwise, he wouldn't be hiding in his room all the time. Moon didn't think much of it and turned away. Is that so? Well, I'll go to the washroom first then. Iruka stood there smiling and reminded him, the washroom is next to the well. Don't go to the wrong place. But the moment Moon turned away, her friendly expression vanished. A while later, at the outhouse, Moon came out listlessly, grumbling. This smell is way too strong. Doesn't anyone in this village clean their toilets periodically? Suddenly frantic barking made him jump, and he curiously walked around, searching. It must be this room, where Miss Iruka keeps her dog. I was just thinking, that dog's bark sounds a little strange. There's a small hole here. A little peek probably won't hurt, right? What kind of dog is Miss Iruka raising, anyway? He saw Iruka inside, feeding her husband and praising him. Good boy. Once. You're full, stop making a fuss. That man is still useful, so be patient for a little while. I'll let you out tomorrow. Seeing this scene, Moon was utterly horrified. His legs trembled as he backed away, stepping on a twig. Iruka sensed it and shouted, Who's there? Is that you, Mr. Moon? She stormed over and threw the door open, but Moon was already gone. Iruka relaxed. Did I mishear things? The great love god awakens in another hour. Just in case, I should go check on that man. Seeing her close the door, Moon immediately jumped down from his hiding spot, gritting his teeth and cursing in his head. This Miss Iruka looks so kind and gentle, but it turns out that man looks just like the one in the portrait in the main hall. That must be the husband she mentioned. Damn it, I barely escaped one yonder only to run into a psychopath. Who did I piss off? This terrifyingly quiet village. An adventurer who turned her husband into a dog. And she mentioned the great love god earlier, plus those strange sounds I've been hearing since I entered the village. I was hoping to get help from the Adventurers Guild, but I can't stay in this village any longer. In this situation, the best strategy is to run. With that thought, Moon activated his full speed and vanished. Iruka, unaware, went back to Moon's room to check. Mr. Moon. She opened the door and, seeing it was empty, understood the situation. The killing intent she had been suppressing erupted, and she punched the wall beside her, shattering it. Damn it. When did he find out? Suddenly, a knock came from the front door. She calmed down, her face contorting as she went to answer. You're back. You took long enough. But when she opened the door, it wasn't Moon. And was also quite surprised. It's you. Iruka stammered. Master. And greeted her cheerfully. It's been a long time. A while later, Iruka led An into the reception room. Master, your tea. Thank you. You're wearing a maid's uniform. It's cute. And explained casually, I was in a hurry leaving the mansion and didn't have time to change. Speaking of which, why have you been calling me master ever since I walked in? I don't recall ever teaching you anything. Iruka smiled. Have you forgotten, master? It was your words that guided me back then, giving me the courage to accept my true self. Thanks to your teachings, I confessed to Rotor that very night. Oh right, would you like to see? And was perplexed. See what? Iruka confirmed, yes, to see the fruits of my hard work. And didn't understand but still agreed. Alright, let's see. Iruka immediately turned. Master, please wait a moment. But as soon as Iruka left, and stood up, confirming, I'm not wrong. The young master's scent still lingers in the air. He was here. But besides his scent, there's also the smell of blood. Just then, Iruka returned. Sorry to keep you waiting, master. And stared at the scene before her. This is... Iruka led her husband in, presenting him. Master, this is the husband I love most dearly. Come on, Rudder, say hello. Rudder could only let out a bark. Iruka smiled and commanded, Rudder, paw. He obediently barked again and put his hand up. Iruka enjoyed it, patting his head and praising, good boy. But Anne was not particularly surprised by this scene. She stroked her chin. So this is a little hobby you two have. A bit interesting. Not bad. Receiving the praise, Iruka scratched her head modestly. Master, you're too kind. I thought that if it were you, you would have completely subjugated the one you love, both body and soul, right? Compared to you, Master, I'm still far behind. But in sight. No, you've done well. To be honest, it was my own carelessness and negligence that allowed my young master, the one I love, to escape from my grasp. Iruka was shocked. Young master. Master, the one you love is Mr. Mune. At the mention of Mune, Anne was startled, and leaned forward to confirm. That's right. So the young master was here, wasn't he? Iruka nodded in a panic. Yes. And pressed on urgently. Where is he now? Iruka led her to the room where Mune had slept. Right here. I met Mr. Mune on my way home this afternoon. His clothes were in tatters, so I brought him here, cooked for him, and let him stay temporarily. But not long ago, I heard a sound from this room, and when I came out to check, Mr. Mune had left without a word. And asked quietly, how long has he been gone? Iruka answered honestly, less than 2 hours. Don't worry, master. I learned tracking magic from hunters before. I can reveal Mr. Mune's footprints. He couldn't have gone far in the dark like this. We can still catch him. Master, you sit here for a moment, I'll go cast the spell now. And agreed without much thought. Then I'll leave it to you. Suddenly, Iruka turned back. Oh right, master. This house isn't mine, so please don't wander around. Especially the other rooms in this house. It's best if you don't leave this room. And agreed again. Yes, ye understand. I'll wait for ye here. She sat down on the bed, her heart in turmoil, muttering to herself. Young master. She caressed the pillow Mune had slept on, the blanket he had used, and wondered, crossing 3 cities to run to this place. Do you hate me that much? Why? Why can't you accept my love? Suddenly, her eyes flew open. Rudder had somehow entered the room and was sitting by the bed. His vacant eyes suddenly changed. He clutched his head and screamed in agony, Chia, everyone, don't. Please, don't, and worriedly reached out a hand. Are you all right? Iruka's husband, Rudder, suddenly regained his senses, grabbed her hand, and shouted at the last room, Leave, get out of here immediately. Iruka's. Before he could finish, he lost consciousness, his body returning to its vacant state, and looked around cautiously. The last room. Is he talking about this place? She walked over and tried the door, surprised to find it locked. But this was no obstacle for Anne. She quickly cast an unlocking spell. The door opened smoothly, and the overwhelming smell of blood billowed out. The sight inside made Anne's eyes widen in horror. Inside was a massive pile of human corpses, and some were even impaled on wooden stakes. Seeing their gruesome state, Anne realized, these are the villagers from Iruka's town. Before she could finish her thought, Iruka approached with a knife, smiling. So you found out, master. But it's okay. You and I are the same kind of person, master. You can definitely understand me, right? I love him. So much. And turned to face the bloodthirsty Iruka and shouted, so that's what happened. You've been corrupted by an evil god, Iruka. But Iruka didn't seem to hear her, covering her face and laughing. An evil god. Master, how can you say that about the great love god? That's disrespectful. The great love god is very good to me. To grant the wishes of all those I love, he generously bestowed upon me the power to fulfill those wishes. And asked again, and what is the price for that power? Iruka waved her hand. A price. There is none. The Great One has no demands. He only helped me better understand my true nature. Master, you and I are the same. Now, there's only one person left needed as a sacrifice for the great love god. You'll accept my love, won't you? And sighed helplessly. It seems you're beyond saving. Not hearing a refusal, Iruka exclaimed happily, that's wonderful, I knew you would understand me, master. Don't worry, master. Since you are my master, I will be very gentle when I cut you up. As she was speaking, and dashed forward with her iron skill, slicing Iruka's neck in a single motion. Even then, Iruka didn't understand, choking out her last words. Esther, why? And turned away coldly. I'm sorry, Iruka. I can't let you harm anyone else. Iruka defiantly argued back, I didn't harm anyone, master, I only gave them my love. I love them. What's wrong with love? And shouted in frustration, enough, that was never love. Iruka asked, bewildered, not love. Then what is it? It's clearly love, to possess everyone that you love. Isn't that what you taught me, master? And turned her back, and walked away helplessly. I'm sorry. Outside she clutched her head and lamented at the evil god's temptation. Twisting love to the point of killing everyone you love. I'm the one who did this to her. This is my fault. I still need to find the young master. But first, I should give her a proper burial. Just as she was about to turn back, a strange voice echoed. I love you. I love you so much. Master, I love you so very much. Inside the house, fresh blood gathered into a large mass, and drew her weapon cautiously and shouted, the evil god. Meanwhile, Moon was still running for his life through the forest. After a long stretch, he finally dared to stop and catch his breath. I've run this far and there's no sign of pursuit. Should be safe now. Unexpectedly, from behind him, and shot past like a whirlwind. The speed was so immense that Moon struggled to shield his face. When he could see again, he marveled, holy crap, what was that? A meteor shower. A cough sounded from the distance. Moon was surprised. A person's voice. And that sound. He slowly approached and saw someone crashed against a tree. He shouted and she warily wiped blood from her mouth and whispered, young master. I knew you were nearby. I finally found you. Moon worriedly knelt down. What happened? Why are you so injured? Did you fight with someone? Can you get up? And sensed the danger, and stopped him. No, now is not the time for this. I'll hold her off. Young master, run. Moon repeated in shock, run. In the distance, a stream of fresh blood rushed towards them, carrying Iruka's eerie voice. Master. Where are you, master? I love you. Moon turned in bewilderment. The stream of blood coalesced into the vague shape of the evil god, which commanded, come and receive my love. Merge with me and become one. The sight made Moon scream, what the hell is that?